only for the real.
Only for the real.
Only for the real.
Only for the real. This is only for the real, man. You fake, man. Close your fucking ears, man.
What up, man? It's your boy Gene. Stay humble entertainment. The bigs, you already know, we rocking with our niggas only for the real radio. You feel me?
We live. The show has started.
Yeah, we gonna talk about it.
Chris Gotti, you know what I'm saying? My boy Bunny.
Only for the real.
Only
for
for
the
the
real.
real.
Right.
Street certified
Bunny.
news interview.
Bundy, like y'all from New York. Y'all from New York. Y'all know what Tommy Bundy about?
It's
I'm
good.
the Tommy Bundy of this city.
Tommy Bundy, I'm gonna give you Tommy
It's-
Bundy.
it's-
Tommy Bundy is fucking. If you ever seen the movie Belly, that's my nigga. It's a real nigga. His name Al. We used to call him Al Mundy from like Married with Children. Al Bundy. We called him Al Mundy. You know what I'm saying? So we used to call him Buns as a nickname, but that's really what it was. Like he was about that whole thing. He's in jail right now for life. He, you know what I'm saying? Did his thing, but it's true. Like damn. So when you brought it up, you just hit to tell you touched the nerve. But that story, DMX was around his life. Mm-hmm. He really was just how DMX was. They just Hype Williams just kind of switched it up somewhat because he didn't really pay him or take care of him the way he should have for his story.
Right. So
You know
let's get into for people who don't know, let's just start from the beginning, man.
And we really did go into how the movie started. That's a true story too.
So just for people who don't know, man, run down your history, your background.
I'm just blessed, man. And Chris Gotti, you know what I'm saying? I just got a new company that I started called Adventure Music. You know what I'm saying? And I empower independent artists to own, operate, and monetize their business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, empowerment. That's what it's about. We have to empower each other so we can get up and stop being up underneath this suppression that we've been under. You know, we'll get to it, but you know,
gringos.
Yeah, these gringos. So
They can't build the wall
and this
around
ain't just a
Miami.
black problem. This is a Latin problem. And right to my left is Don De Niro. That's my Latin president. You know what I'm saying? He with my company and my partner. So, which we're doing it from the black and brown. I'm
Yes.
again. You know, it's a blessing to be able to do this for everybody that I do it for. That's why I travel around and do what I'm doing. But you know, my history is Murder Inc. But you know, got a lot of history with Murder Inc. We helped out with Jay-Z and Rockefeller starting that, and Rough Riders and getting that going with DMX. So there's a lot of history. I'm over 30 years in the music industry, so I know a little bit about the industry. You know what I'm saying? From the business side, Murder Inc. was doing over $200 million before the feds came in. Not 50 Cent. Please get it right.
Look, let's talk about that.
Talk about it.
Ja Rule, 50 Cent, that beef, man, just popped back up recently.
It didn't pop back up. 50's a troll, you know that.
Uh-huh.
Like that's what he do. So I don't know why people look and expect anything different. You know what I'm saying?
Like
his whole career is how he started his.
Like that How to Rob and all of that is poking the bell.
Yeah, but you know,
it's
it is what he do. The way Ja handles himself versus that's their business. You know what I'm saying? Ja's my brother, but at the end of the day, he's old and tired because it's nothing going on. Mm-hmm. Ain't no pressure. Mm-hmm. You heard me?
Yeah.
Ain't no pressure.
Hey, so,
I apply the pressure.
So a lot
That's
of people don't know. At a time, 50 actually had an order of protection out against.
That's
you.
a fact.
Like, could you speak
I
on
can
that?
speak on this old and finished. You know what I'm saying? That's because we stabbed him in the studio. He ran to the cops. The crazy part people don't know about the story, when he ran out of the studio, in New York, there was like the biggest music block in New York City. It had the Hit Factory, which was the biggest studio at the time. And right up the block was Sony Studios, which was like the second biggest studio. So we would always be in the Hit Factory making music. And we ran, you know, we ran into him. Things happened. He ran out of there, fucked up and bleeding, and ran down to Sony Studios. And he ran in the studios begging someone to help him. Niggas is trying to kill him. But people don't know who he ran into. He ran into Benzino, the nigga who owned Source Magazine. Yeah. And Benzino didn't know him at the time, so he said he just seen another black man. If y'all know anything about Boston, where he's from is all black, black, black. You know what I'm saying? Real pro-black. So he seen another black man running, bleeding and shit. It's like, take my car. I got to drive outside and go to the hospital. Get out of here. But he didn't know him. So it was kind of fucked up because 50 Cent, Eminem, and down to Source Magazine, and this nigga helped save his ass. Because we was on his ass then. God working with him, but it's all good.
All right, so I remember I went and saw you speak at Rainbow Push Conference like earlier this year.
Yeah. With that's my man. We call him Godfather, but his name is Jesse.
Right.
And then with Jesse Jackson, Rainbow Push with Jesse Jackson. Godfather, what up? GF, what's good, nigga?
Yeah, so
We can curse here, right?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure.
So you had spoke about how leading up into that whole Fed indictment, all that situation, you and a couple other big bosses from the coast, all the coast, y'all was going
talking about Suge Knight and Jay Prince.
Right, y'all was going start the first black major label.
Facts. So we had a setup to get our first. We was gonna be the first black-owned major distribution record label, where we was the East Coast, Jay is the Midwest, and Suge is the South. and Suge is the West Coast, and Jay is everything in the middle there. You know, so when you look at the map, that's how we look like we was covering. I was going from up New York down to Miami. Everything in between, you know, the whole East Coast like that. Jay was right in the middle, coming across from Houston and into over here in Chicago, and Suge was going to take care of all of the West Coast stuff. And really, that's the beginning of the end. If
you think that had so you?
I don't really think. I kind of know just because of the conversations I had when these agents, when we're going through our trial, and they're showing and presenting evidence and things what we were doing, and you knew what led to, let's say, the indictment for me and my brother.
Right. So that's why it seemed like you guys and Suge and even Jay Prince, all of y'all got pressure from the feds like at the same time.
Yeah, they pressured them, but you know, for some, there was a little bit more sauce with us at the time. You know, timing is everything. In success and in negative times, right? The timing of it could have been the worst time of it when it happened, but you know, there was a lot going on at the time, like 50 Cent snitching and shit like that. I got affidavits and statements that Curtis Jackson said this, that. So, and then I had someone that worked for me that was actually homeless, that I took in and helped. Got him a lot of money, started making a lot of money with me. He was actually working with Dex Diamond. Dex Diamond is the reason he brought him in, so I could blame Dex for my whole fucking trouble. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story. But this kid came in. I don't want to mention his name because he still has an order of protection, witness protection, actually. So I won't mention his name, but he came in. I helped the nigga out. He gets in trouble because he was doing those Skytail two-way pages. I don't know if you remember those. He was stealing them, and that's, you know, it's a federal crime, right? So he gets in court. He was stealing and, like, turning them on for free for people and getting money and shit. And he gets caught, and he tells the feds he got a great story for them. And the story was, you know, how much money was coming in the office, drug dealers and drugs, guns, all types of shit. All types of shit. This story was amazing.
So you telling fairy tales.
Facts. But no, look, you know, whenever you lie, the best lies is because you have a bit of something that's real. So yeah, there was a lot of fucking cash coming in my office. I'm not talking about a little bit. I'm talking about a lot. Cash. And he made it where it was like drug cash, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna get. First, I was at the time I was gambling about 1.8 a week. In gambling.
1.8 million.
So what was you, sports?
Sports.
Oh, sports.
Sports. I managed the biggest poker player in the world, Phil Ivey.
Okay.
Still.
Okay.
So, yeah, there was a lot of cash. Phil might have even sent $500,000 from a debt someone owed him. You know, when you playing these games like that, a poker game, let's say this is the game, we have to have honor. Meaning, we don't have that cash on us, but we saying this is what we playing for, I'm good for it. So if you lose, you just sent the money. And that's how that game always worked in the poker world. And sports is the same way. You're betting $50,000, $100,000 a game, and then you tally up at the end of the week. So one week I might win $1 million or it's better, and my bookie was in L.A. That money come flying in. It's in bags, for real. It's in shoe boxes. Like, niggas would say, oh, because that's what he told the grand jury when everything went on. It was like shoebox money. And, yeah, I told my lawyer, yeah, that's true. I said, it ain't from drugs, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is me gambling. But he kind of helped me. There's always something with snitches. I don't know if anyone's been dealing with a lot of like snitching niggas. They call it like snitch's pride. And the snitch's pride is they always usually give you an out in their snitching story and their testimony. So one of his outs was Chris could be a professional gambler because he actually witnessed me winning hundreds of thousands of dollars gambling. Right there with me, you know what I'm saying? So everyone knew. And then I would have cash count machine right in my office. And I had a huge safe. And I just tucked my shit in. And I wasn't betting just for me. John was betting with me. Irv was betting with me. So he had a real base to make some stories up, but it wasn't real. It didn't mean it was real.
Right.
You know, he said guns was in the office. Absolutely. I ain't going to lie. Yes.
So when you got that much money,
but it wasn't my guns. I don't have to claim those guns. They ain't my guns. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't put it on me. But I told him, yeah, guns was in my drugs. Was no, it's no. I don't know. I don't do no drugs. I don't even drink. Like, so they're not mine. If there was, I don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that kind of got that out the way. It was like, you know, all his story got all fucked up. So then it's part of why I'm sitting here. Right. Because when they put him on the stand, my lawyer destroyed him.
He destroyed him.
Yeah.
So do you think, I know at that same time too, one of your friends, Supreme,
yeah,
they tried to connect what you guys were doing, being like the biggest record label, to, you know, what was going on.
Yeah, that's all, and it's all fair questions. Like those are all fair questions. The reality is, if you understand me, and I'm gonna say the feds understood me, right? It's the United States of America. They know who the fuck you are, right? And especially once they investigate, they really find out who you are. So if they know I'm from Hollis, Queens, that's in New York, right? So Hollis, it's just a little strip, but that's the block. You know what I'm saying? That's where we from. Like, if you was from, you didn't claim you was from anywhere else but Hollis.
Right.
Southside, where Preem is from, it's more. Let me say, it's more people. It's more of a hood, and he's the king of the Southside.
Right.
Hollis and Southside don't fuck with each other. Period. I could tell you my whole adolescent years from say 14 to 22. Maybe 23, I banged out with someone from Southside. I'm talking about my whole high school years, every day, not Monday through Friday, no days off. When they talked about backpack rappers, I was the first because I would lose my books, fighting or whatever every day. So I had to start carrying a backpack so I wouldn't lose my books so I could fight.
Right.
You know, back then it wasn't really much gun. It was more stabbing or fighting. You know, so you had to have hands.
I heard in New York y'all still do a lot of stabbing, like.
Well, yeah, they cut your ass.
Like, we don't do no stabbing in Chicago.
Yeah.
You can't get that close. Like, a nigga got a gun this long.
You know that breeds a different kind of person, right? So again, and first of all, I'm not no young dude, so I'm 51. So if you go back to that era, it wasn't a lot of guns circulating. So when you had a gun back then, and when I'm in high school, if you got a gun, it was like, oh, this nigga. You ever see Juice?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the Juice now.
He got the
See, that's real shit. That's real New York shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't, when you was in that era, in that time, nigga, I might have been the one who had some guns. Mm-hmm. So I was that nigga in the hood that everyone would come and say, yo, I need it. But at the end of the day, in high school, it's like you ain't going to school. I wasn't going to school with no hammers. And I was nice with my hands. I had no problem fighting niggas.
No, so, I ain't mean it like that. Like,
I understand, but
I'm saying like New York and Chicago. I don't know if because you're not, you're a famous guy. You might not be into the Facebook thing and whatever. You know, for New York and Chicago had that little Facebook beef or whatever, man. They were going back and forth. And New York niggas like the type, like, because the difference in lifestyle, we didn't understand. Like, we don't.
Because we're not a gang. We're not a gang affiliate city.
But y'all gang niggas, they gang.
No, our gang is different. So your gangs is, again, you have more of an agenda and a leader. Let's say gangs have a leader. And the leader in the hoods for us was the block where you from, right? It wasn't an organization in that sense unless you was Supreme, unless you was like that,
right?
And that's why he was different. You understand what I'm saying? But if he wasn't in that, most little niggas was hustling on their own, so they would either get in trouble fighting for the block territory they was on. That's all they was fighting for, so they could hustle in this spot. Like, this is my spot, nigga. This is how I'm getting my money. But if you wasn't strong, niggas was taking your spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's funny, DMX, to tie it back into music, when he first started, when we first making DMX records, DNY, that's the niggas who own Rough Riders, was trying to kill this nigga because he was robbing they workers.
Yeah, I heard Swiss Beats saying like,
and we had to tell them niggas, leave the nigga alone. This nigga's gonna
be a big time rapper.
So y'all just want to rob till he got home?
Listen to me, yo.
We
ain't on like that. Don't get it fucked up. We grinding. It's like, well, we see the talent and the potential, and we like, yo, we tell DNY, like, they busy with the Locks at the time. Locks was signed with Puffy.
Yeah.
So they getting their money with music through them, but the Locks didn't make the money with Puffy. They made it with Rough Riders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when they went back to the street shit. When they would Puff, they in suits. It wasn't them.
Shit.
You know, Puff is a Harlem nigga. Harlem niggas is flashy. Even though he ain't really from Harlem, he's from Mount Vernon. Don't you heard me, Puff? I'm gonna call you ass out, man. But he from Mount Vernon, but it's all good. He adopted Harlem. You know what I'm saying? He's an official Harlem.
It's like
he's
you saluting the nigga, but then you like, but bro, you not like in Chicago. Or in Chicago, if a nigga, you be like, yeah, bro, I'm from 63rd. You can't be like, yeah, but he from 79. But you can't do that. You can't do that. You got to be like, man, bro,
there's an
I'm
exception.
from the 9.
I got you. He's not from Harlem. What I'm telling you, he's not from Harlem. But he had nothing but Harlem niggas around him. So he was adopted. You understand?
I can dig that.
And he was taking care of
and then guess what? He repped it. So even though he wasn't officially from Harlem, he repped it so hard. The Harlem niggas said, "Fuck it, you with him?"
Wasn't his pops from Harlem or some
His
shit?
pops was from Harlem.
His pops was from Harlem.
You know what I'm saying?
We moved him out
Mount
there.
Vernon.
That's why he was from out there, because his pops had already been doing his
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
So there's a trace. He got trace, but I'm just saying, like he wasn't raised in Harlem. But he has that Harlem spirit, no question about it. If you look at Rockefeller, Dame Dash is a Harlem nigga to the core. Like, that's why, and Jay is Brooklyn. Harlem and Brooklyn don't get along.
Right.
If you think of Jay's career, I always look at Jay because he's not a traditional Brooklyn nigga. He's a Brooklyn nigga with Harlem swag. That's why he's different. But that's why he's different from a music standpoint.
So it ain't. So you saying Brooklyn motherfuckers just don't got swag? That's what you.
A different swag.
I know what you're saying. Like Jay
So
never
don't
talked
put
about
words in
robbing.
our mouth. Yo, Bonnie's up to you. Yo, this thing's up to you. Yo, lock the door, yo.
A fashion statement. When you think about New York fashion,
Yeah, we think all them niggas, Cam.
and they coming from Brooklyn. Let that sink in.
But Biggie is the king of.
But he didn't have no swag like that.
Right.
He started Versace. He started wearing the stuff
Coochie.
From Tupac.
Yeah,
The
but I'm saying,
motherfucking-
Because Tupac put that on.
Yeah.
Don't get it fucked up.
I mean, Biggie, I understand.
Don't
Biggie
get
first
it
album, he was
fucked
talking
up.
about
I love
robbing.
Big.
He was
I'm
talking
saying
about.
New York.
Feel me in.
Like,
Feel me
I'm
in.
giving you game. See,
Gucci and flip
I'm gonna
with the
tell you.
strap.
I'm gonna tell you what they missing. They missing. Here's what they missing. You're also a fan.
Yeah, of course I'm a fan.
Okay,
for
so
anything.
you-
I ain't no.
Okay, listen to
I was
me.
9.
All right,
He died.
so
I
when
cried.
what these artists listen, the artist is selling you something. Doesn't mean it's real.
I learned
They're
that.
selling
I
you
learned
an
that, yeah.
image. That's what we do. We're entertaining. We're trying to sell you something.
But I'm from a city where a nigga say he got 30s, and I've been in a room where it was a group of 16-year-old boys, and every bitch in that motherfucker had a handgun that was bigger than me.
Yeah.
Like, so, I
that's
can
the
believe,
culture out
I
here.
can believe that some of this shit is fake, but I know for a fact that a lot of this shit is real. I done seen a nigga be in a video. He was just in the background.
this is when real.
He died
they say
tomorrow.
when keeping it real goes wrong.
That's
Nah, they used to.
That's the
they used to
culture.
sell
You know why it's wrong?
That's
Let me
the
tell you
culture.
why it's wrong.
Right.
Look why it's wrong. And I'm gonna say we learned the hard way too. So it ain't like it's wrong because it's corporate America. They're not gonna allow it. They'll let you kill yourself, but then they're gonna get you up out of here. Like it'll be a short-lived career or business for you. And if we try to be in business, you can't live that life. It's not gonna work. They'll never let it in. They'll never let it exist until like they'll get you out their way because they're making money with you. Don't get it fucked up, and then they'll figure out how to move you up out of here.
So a nigga like 6ix9ine, he rep like he the biggest thing out of New York. No fat facts out the city right now. Like, how do y'all respond to
Treyway.
that? Trey fucking way. And I like to see
Listen, I
I
know
like to see little ass turn up.
Shotty and them niggas over there. You know, Skrilla, what up, nigga? Don't mean I fuck with that nigga 6ix9ine. You heard? And I know them niggas. Those are like my little niggas that I knew for years. You understand? Them, but I'm not a blood. I'm not a crip. You know what I'm saying? I'm just respected. Let's leave it at that. I'm not a GD.
Do you agree with
a
how
Vice Lord,
he
a BD? You know what I'm saying? But I'm respected, and that's a fact.
So, so y'all New York niggas, they don't fuck with y'all like this. How the New York, like, cause I grew up, I love New York rap. Like G-Dep was like my favorite. Like, even though that's a fucked up rapper to say, but like as a rapper, like he's cold and shit. Like I love everything about New York, and this is like the representation of y'all.
Did G-Dep tell on himself?
He that was the Sherm though. You can't blame that. That's the Sherm.
He walked in the police station. And
that don't take away. Hey,
it take away a lot.
It don't take.
If you study Tekashi,
it take away a lot.
Come on, man.
If you study
Listen.
you study Tekashi, right?
We do a lot of studying over
He's
here.
Mexican. He's a Mexican, right?
He's Mexican.
So his style when he came in, he was doing heavy metal hip hop, and he was popping in Russia.
In Russia, that's where before he got popping in New York.
Because all his songs are hype, right?
Yeah.
He throws water in it. That's where his lane. So he was in Russia doing shows.
Yeah.
And then that buzz call, right? When you get that internet buzz, he had that one gun, that first song that popped off in New York because it was hype. You know, it's all his songs. So it's kind of like that wave. He's riding that wave, but he don't represent New York. At all.
I like it.
No,
I like it.
Listen, he don't. You don't got niggas out there with paint and color hair. It's not a fake. You might have one or two young kids in high school that might get influenced by him, but that is not New York. New York is still Jay. New York is still Jada when he drops. New York is still Uncle Murder when he. You understand? Like that New York sound. You feel me? Jim Jones came out with. That is still always gonna be New York. Now he's had his moment. I'll give you an example. You were mentioning the gun stuff. When I think there was about a month or 2 months ago, they had a thing of Chief Keef trying to fight, right? Mm-hmm. And then New York used to say, Chicago kill you, they can't shoot a fair one, right? In the sense of you talking about the gun violence, and I'm looking at them like. Nobody even thinks about shooting a fair one out here.
We'll fight you, but no, it ain't gonna be fair. It ain't gonna be fair. Like, let's say
the same based on
we will fight. It ain't gonna be fair though. You gonna get shot. You feel me?
But this is what I'm saying.
We ain't bring this gun for no reason. You feel me?
Finishing that fight without getting shot.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
a gun. You live in a gun culture. We don't have a gun culture where most dudes.
That's because y'all going to jail forever for having a pipe. Like a nigga can get caught with a gun right here and be out tomorrow. Like if I'm on house arrest right now, bro. Like in Chicago, you can't.
You gotta beef.
It's like it's better to get caught with it than without.
Everybody, that's a fact, motherfucker. See the difference? Over there, you got your cat at home, or if you up and down, really, but you go home and get your shit if you gotta beef.
I'll be back.
Yeah, no, she's just live. She live. Over here, it's too late.
No ass dead. Hey,
ain't no coming back.
Yeah, but you understand the rules. See, over there, the rules are different.
And you better not get that loud saying that. Like, I'm gonna go to the crib.
At a club, but I got to beef with you on the block. We might shoot that but if we don't, I'll be back.
Right.
Here, we finishing it right now.
In front of the club, shit. All right, so let's get back into some music.
Hey, we there, yeah, because we talking hip hop. Y'all doing like we don't never want to just we want to put some of our Chicago flavor on niggas because y'all was just listening to Jada Mommy King hits. He just dropped his latest hits. It's called Hood Legend. He dropped some shit with Jada. And you got some artists in the building. We don't want to Chris Gotti shame. You know, I like to get into it with the artists and shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to get we got the artists in the building.
Who you are right now?
Oh, what's up? My name Don Dinero, political prisoner from Cuba. I'm the president of Land Division. I've been in the game over 20 years. Developed artists from Pitbull, Akon. I'm not only the president. I'm also a member. I have an extensive catalog on Adventure Music. I also have a deal with Rock Nation, a label print deal to produce and develop artists, English or Spanish. We're the only company, 717 Production, that has that. And just basically out here educating and empower all artists. Now, the fact that I'm bilingual, Latino, I'm able to kind of help my speaks, which is Spanish people. It's called Spanish people in control.
I know, because motherfucker be like, bro, you tweaking, bro. You disrespect my Latino.
He get that until he explains.
Why I break it down and I empower the name.
King and them will get on your ass.
I got Land Kings that are signed to us, right?
Yeah.
I got my little man full of them, and once you educate of the using the word as power, then you know what I'm saying, that SPIC movement is real. Spanish people in control. But what I'm saying is that I'm here like with us Latinos just to help, and we're building this from an international standpoint also. You understand? And Latinos here in the United States have been growing. The numbers are growing. But, you know, in the hood, we're all in it together. You know, I always discuss, we've never, besides Joe, and we've never, you know, I hear the trap music movement. our movement is plug music. Right? Because we're the plugs.
Say the plug.
Man,
Look,
he spun it out on my kid. We gotta get this.
We're not. Listen.
Hey, you started this.
You're right.
You want to get off me? Go ahead. He gonna be worse.
Like in America, we know how this shit go. We know.
I'm gonna hit you with something.
If he's saying something wrong, say it.
He not saying nothing wrong. It's just as a nigga, you be like, damn,
I'm gonna give it. Let me give you something. Hold on.
man.
No, he's not shitting on you.
I'm not. I'm just
I'm
saying that's my culture in Chicago. When a nigga saying like, yeah, I'm the plug, you like, I got shit too, but he probably right. He the man. Fuck him, man.
I'm gonna keep it
together.
up.
Without each other, we cannot exist.
I gotta hate first though. Let me get the hate
Let me tell you
out.
something. Like when he talks that shit.
You want to be politically correct for me, right? For the white man, yeah, right?
You see that?
Holy
Ain't
shit.
Yeah, busted.
I ain't going over this, man.
But let me explain something. Like when you talk that, have you ever heard of like that story from a Latin artist? Let's keep it music. A Latin artist talking about music from the plug standpoint, not from cooking in the kitchen, that trap standpoint, because that's all we do.
But at the
we
same
talk
time,
about cooking in the kitchen, we trapping.
We know
and
y'all
they not-
doing it. Y'all like, how does y'all rap? I'm like the Latins bringing
I'm
this
not
shit
Latin,
in.
nigga.
I'm not saying you're not Latin, Mr. Guy. But we know, so y'all
We
can't.
haven't had the chance to tell our story.
Cause y'all moving so much of it. Like, how can you rap about it? You already
But
rich.
they
Like the rap
rapping.
for poor niggas, bro. You already
Listen
got
what
the
I'm saying, though.
dough.
I'm trying to tell you
We hustling trying to get to the rap.
But yo, we influenced them. Hey, you missing what you see? What you saying? We influenced them. They still want to be part of our culture.
Facts.
And they are now. Look at.
I'm
Fat
gonna tell you.
Hold on. Look at Fat Joe, right? My brother Joe. I was just on with him today, but Fat Joe never wanted to talk about he's Puerto Rican. He just wanted to rap, my nigga. He just wanted to be accepted as a rapper. Think about his career. He never was out. We knew he Puerto Rican, but he wasn't out repping it. Now he's repping it more because it's more acceptable today. You know what I'm saying? The Latin culture is popping right now in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And then when they do it in Latin, if it's numbers, you look at numbers. You was talking about the internet, man. There's Latin artists getting billions and billions of streams, niggas, more than any of our artists. So you gotta look. It's just a numbers game and it's business. So I'm a business nigga. You know what I'm saying?
So hey, I want to talk about something real quick. You was talking about it's a numbers game now, streaming. It's a new way people are selling and consuming music. With that come a lot of these new artists, a lot of these new platforms. Some people could say that they not really paying homage to the OGs or the old school. Maybe they don't know about them. They never heard the music. A lot of these guys, they doing is not even in the same lane as where it came from. Like, man, speak on that for me, Chris, because I know you was there and you here now.
Exactly,
so
but I felt exactly what, let's say, the artists are feeling right now with the younger generation. When we was the younger generation, with the older guys that was before us saying fuck them and listen to what they doing. So this is all part of the evolution of music. It really don't stop. And as a culture, we always constantly shitting on each other and never embracing and giving the props to the people before you. You know what I'm saying? That open the doors. That open the
OGs do hate.
OGs wanted the young guys to do it like they did.
You know what it
We
do?
OGs,
I was
open.
going to get to that. Listen, the OGs can say what they want. They're going to be dead soon enough. There'll be a young nigga that take them off their pedestal. It happens constantly. It's out with the old, in with the new. And that's it. The OG is supposed to understand that better if he's a true OG and kind of help the new young dude. Because he's got to go out to pasture. You know what I'm saying? It's just evolution. You know what I'm saying? The old line gets gone and the new line takes over. It's going to happen every time. My nigga D Nash just stepped in the building. Though. Yikes.
But like you saying with the old is supposed to go out to the pasture. They supposed to know when it's their time. In every aspect of life, we see that not being evident. You can see a McDonald's worker.
Okay,
you can see a McDonald's worker working the register. She don't. Working there being 39. Yeah, she got to spoil kids, but that don't allow a 16-year-old to get a job. You got niggas like P Diddy, Jay-Z, 50 years old, still dropping rap albums. They put all that promotion into their shit. Not saying it's not high, but I don't remember nothing off the last Jay-Z album.
You sound like you hating.
I ain't a hater.
Sound like you hating. Hold on, let me get this. Let me get it.
Y'all saying the biggest Latin artist niggas ain't mentioned Tekashi was Latin.
No, Jay-Z's created. What do you mean? He's giving he signed Kanye.
He signed.
What do you mean?
What?
Rock Nation. Kanye was on Rock Nation.
Kanye
signed the Rock
I'm
Nation.
not saying.
How did he get that opportunity? If Jay was selfish, Jay would have
Dame
a label.
gave Kanye
if
that
Jay was
opportunity.
selfish,
Dame gave
he'd be
Kanye that
fabulous.
opportunity.
No label, just rapping.
Dame gave Kanye that opportunity.
Because of who?
Dame and Jay are partners, so you trying to eliminate a partner.
I'm saying if your man, if my man ain't vouching for you, he said Jay didn't want him. He said Jay didn't want him as an artist. He was like, no, you're not it.
It didn't matter. It don't matter.
When you the man,
listen,
who still got rapping?
Hold on. See, that's a business thing, and again, you holding something that's not even real, right? If Jay says no, it's not gonna happen. Dame can't overrule him as partners.
But
that would not happen. Jay may not have liked his music at the moment or at the time. And he still allowed it. You got to remember that. He allowed it.
My man vouching for you 100%. If this nigga, I love this nigga with all my heart, and you said, I'm saying no, but you standing there and you going to tell me, yeah.
Hey, we don't
do
have
your
the
thing.
same
I don't even
ears.
I'm not watching you.
We don't have the same ears. We don't have the same eyes. What you like, I don't need to like.
Yeah.
And as a partner, Jay sat back and said, go. Respect that. You bugging. That's business. That's business. We're not in the street.
We get off the point. We get off the point of
Yeah.
letting the old head.
No,
The
old
heads don't let niggas in.
All right,
The
so
old heads, you know why? Because they holding on for dear life.
I got another question. We're going to stick on the music.
They don't
Chris.
want to get out. They don't want to get out. Old heads don't want to get out.
We're going to stick on the music, Chris.
Go ahead.
A lot of people don't know that at a point, Murder Inc. was actually a rap group, right?
Well, it was supposed to be. It never actually took place because they got too big.
Right, but speak on that because that would have been probably the best rap group.
That's
of all
Dame
time.
that stopped that, though. That's Dame that stopped that.
You
heard me, Dame? You heard me, Dame? You stopped that.
Dame ain't stopped nothing. God stopped it because we can't do nothing
Oh,
without
now it's
God.
God.
We got King Jesus.
We got
King Jesus.
King
Jesus don't need nobody else.
Speak on it though.
God stopped that.
Yeah,
Everything.
man.
But it was my brother Irv. Irv had a dream to do with them three, Ja, Jay-Z, and DMX, and that was Murder Inc. And that cover you seen was supposed to be that day. That photo shoot for that cover was the day everything was getting signed off on, agreed upon in logistics. Everyone was supposed to be a third. Rough Riders, Rockefeller, Murder Inc. Irv was going to my Jamaica with like 20, 25 song tracks and record an album. And they was going to go out in Jamaica or Trinidad. They was a choice. With Trinidad, me and my brother. So it was going to be either Trinidad or Jamaica to go make and record that album. And it didn't happen because Rough Riders said, there was always little beefs inside, right? Competitive beefs. Not, I'm going to kill you beefs. Right. It was, the competitive beefs was, first of all, Murder Inc., we was dominating. We was beating them and generating the money. X comes out, was on fire. He was outselling solely Ja and Jay. Ja was outselling Jay. Jay was the lowest one of the three.
Get the fuck out of here.
Now you know.
Go check your numbers, yo.
For real.
Jay was the lowest selling of the three. But we was like, we're going to just split everything equally, 50, 30. And Darren and Wise like, whatever, God, y'all, whatever y'all want, we doing it. So we had to convince Jay and Dame. Mm-hmm. Jay said, Gotti, if you want it, I'm doing it. Now remember, Jay and X got beef. As art, they never really fucked with each other. Right. You know about that legendary battle and guns drawn and all of that shit. That's real shit.
You was there?
Facts. So at the end of the day,
how you just gonna say facts and leave that? Like, man, fuck all that other shit. What happened, bro?
I'm answering the question.
I don't want to know that no more, man.
Yo, you
I don't want to know that.
You a very selfish host.
I'm saying, DMX and fucking Jay-Z.
That's a battle. We battled. They battled, and then we helped put it together because they didn't fuck with each other. We're the mediators. Like, I'll give you Queens. Queens was able to, if you was an official Queens nigga, you could go into the Brooklyn, the Bronx, all the boroughs, you know what I'm saying, and be good. That's who we were. We was able to go into Brooklyn, Yonkers, and Harlem, and all, and fucking make peace with everybody to make them be cool. You niggas from Brooklyn didn't want to hear nothing from these niggas. The Bronx didn't want to hear nothing. Like, that's just the vibe it was. And we was able to make it happen. Then when it gets to happen, and his money being bet, shit escalated because now who's judging
Yeah.
who's winning? You know what I'm saying? Who's the winner?
So who won?
In my opinion, Jay won.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? But X, it's hard. It's hard.
I feel
It's
like
hard.
everybody won, really, because
It's hard. It's like,
No, the fans lost because like we can only learn from a third story perspective.
that's because we
like,
ain't in the internet era.
Fuck
We
that!
in
Like,
the-
didn't
we
nobody
in the-
have no fat ass VCR thing to bring up? I'm like, man, bro, like on my blood, we had at
Nobody was
least one
thinking
of
about
them.
visualizing this shit anymore. It wasn't
And
about
a big
content.
brand.
How about this? Ja Rule was a battle rapper first. I battled Ja everywhere, all over the city.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is what I'm saying. The game is smoke and mirrors. See, Ja learned how to make records. See, he evolved. You tell me a battle rapper that's winning. Okay, exactly. Mook ain't winning.
He ain't
and
got no
Mook's
hit
my
record.
man.
Mook
Mook is
what
the
he
best battle rapper
But
in the
look what he
game
get, look
ever.
what he get. Look what
What
he
do you
get.
mean?
What he
About
get?
a Rough Rider deal for
What
7
he
years
get?
now.
What he get?
He get more than the rest of them niggas. Like,
Come on, don't do that. Yo,
I ain't
I
gonna shit
love
on
Mook.
him. I ain't gonna shit on him.
love
But,
Mook.
but
Mook's
you
my
see,
man.
he ain't gonna battle like on every platform like the
But
rest
at
of
the
them
end of
niggas,
the
though.
day, he still never made a hit record. Me and him talk about this, so I
Yeah,
can talk about it.
but he has some nice records.
Listen to me. There's a
had no hits,
reason.
right? He had
There's
no
a
hits.
reason these battle rappers don't win. They didn't figure out how to make records to entertain the masses, and they're witty enough and smart enough. Their mind is not doing it, or they're not being produced to do it. Whoever's producing
Eminem got lucky. He had Dr. Dre.
you
He's a
fucking
battle
right.
rapper. White boy
You
battle
listen to me. The
rapper.
white boy don't win if Eminem ain't, if Dr. Dre ain't next to him.
'Cause
He don't
stamped
fucking
him in
win.
hip-hop.
Dr. Dre stamps him, so y'all niggas like that cracker. I don't fuck with that shit.
All right, so you know what I want to ask about
Because
that.
guess what? If you sing, hello, my name is, you're banned from rap, nigga. Don't even act like you a rapper anymore. And that shit was a huge hit. Why? Because he got that VIP, nigga.
So
He's
You
white.
got no
Yeah,
hip hop
that
in
shit was
Eminem right
kinda
now.
ass.
Really, he can speak
Come
to us.
on,
But
nigga.
I
Let's
was
keep
10
it
years
a buck.
old.
How
It
you
was
feel about
cold.
some of the new white
I didn't get
rappers
to
right
finish
now?
about that story.
Oh, yeah, go back, go back.
I had
Interrupted,
to
y'all.
learn. I had to hear what
You heard me, Nash?
He nasty to cut.
I want to hear that.
No, but you know, at the end of the day, then
I'm saying
Dame.
it.
he go stars some shit.
I know.
I like it.
You
It's
don't
all
want to
good.
hear
It's all
DMX.
good.
I know
I love
X
it.
and X hear this. He like, I told that nigga up. What is Gotti on?
No, I didn't say. I said, in my opinion, I would have said Jay won, but that shit was real. It was hard. It wasn't an easy. If you had to pick one, like, how do you flip a coin and pick which one? That's what it was. So if someone said X, I wouldn't have been like, nah, fuck that. No. Maybe I lean towards Jay because I'm more of a Jay fan.
Exactly.
It could be there. That could
Okay,
be
so it's not that. I'm like, them X is a
I'm a
beast.
J fan. I'm a bigger J fan than X fan, but I couldn't imagine X energy. Like, I love battle rap. Battle rap ain't all about talent. It's
Jay's
about
wit.
energy. It's about crowd. It's
Jay's
about
wit is
You feel me?
fucking
When
Jay's
DMX
wit,
dropped,
nigga.
When DMX dropped,
DMX
he
used to
changed the
pray,
game. Yeah,
and
but-
I used to cry.
but when he
Lord,
dropped-
if I grow
but listen, when he
old,
dropped, where my dog's at,
I would.
Bro, he changed the world,
he
man.
changed the world, and that was the difference. Jay came and wrote that, but Jay didn't have a song that changed hip hop. He had Jay style. DMX changed the game with a fucking dog that changed. Tell him about in the meetings. Tell him in the meetings. Tell him
this shit
in the
is
meetings when your
crazy,
brother
yo.
wrote 5 fucking and they laughed.
at him because you know, when you in the label, you had to, the music you made, you would be in front of the whole
Like this.
industry, the whole staff of the label. So Universal had everyone up there from marketing, promoting, artwork. Every department would be in that room.
A lot of them not looking like us, right?
Oh, for real.
So you got
For
these
real.
people judging the culture that don't even come.
Hey, that's a whole nother. That's
Yeah,
a whole
'cause
nother
we
time.
gotta get to the break. We gotta take a break. We gotta take a break. We
That's a whole nother topic.
We gotta take a break. We gotta take a break because we
No, but it was let's say
got
it wasn't
something.
all
We got
us. It was a full half and
got
half
something.
because we're talking about Def Jam, Universal. Def Jam's hip hop. They had mostly minority or black or Spanish people working for the most part. For the most part. So, but when you had all of these, the heads of these departments, no. Right? It was the guys that did the actual choosing and stuff that brought it to that white dude was black or Spanish. So you was talking to them, but their bosses was there too. But they laugh, yo. Irv, you go in the front, you have to talk and play music of what you bringing out. Like what you gonna present and how we gonna market it and roll it out. And he went up, put DMX and put the triangle and put 5, which means 5 million sold. Man, the whole room started laughing. It was an ill day because we quit that day.
Damn.
He said, y'all motherfuckers don't know music and y'all never could tell me what music is. He said, so how am I going to listen to you? And Dame was the biggest guy laughing. He was in the meeting, Dame Dash. Gotti! He said, "How are they're gonna listen to a chihuahua barking?"
That was just like that. You know what happened when
And the whole room is laughing with us. Like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Shout out Dame Dash. Hey, man.
Hey, shout out Dame. His house didn't get burnt down, man, out there in Calabasas, man.
And I seen the picture. It was like the whole
Everywhere
mountain
else,
burnt up,
it
and then
just
his
left
house
his
right
shit. Yeah, that's God's work. You know what I'm saying? I seen a bunch of some of my friends. Their shit is gone. It's crazy. That shit is real. That's one of the reasons I don't want to live in LA.
We got to get into a break, Mr. Gotti. You're enlightening us so much, and we definitely have a second.
You
half
a troublemaker though.
I'm not. I definitely we picking brains. We picking brains and more. My man really back into the black empowerment. I'm into the black empowerment. And
Not really.
One thing in the interview we got to discuss. I am.
You said you was politically correct.
I'm saying I'm a couple politically correct. But whoever got the chicken,
Hey, yo,
I'm
Brian.
trying to get to it with you,
Hey,
my
be
nigga.
careful.
White, black, brown. If we got to smoke a nigga to do that,
Hey, yo, be
then
careful.
We gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on my, Nat Turner.
Do what we gotta do around
He
this
said, "Get rid of
motherfucker,
all coons. Get rid of all coons."
I ain't with the cooning, man.
Okay,
I ain't
just
with
be
the
careful.
cooning, man. But I ain't with the cooning, man. But I'm gonna do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Sound lacoonish to me,
Hey,
nigga.
man, I'm gonna do what I got to do. Hey, we gonna get back and we gonna get to this music.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Ooh, I can't wait to get back into it. I'll pick one track out because y'all didn't give me no specifics, so we gonna kick it off with the Christmas Day, then we gonna get to the Judge Christmas Hood Legend. We in this bitch with a hood legend, a couple hood legends.
Hey, we made
I
a
am
Christmas
hood
album.
legend,
Just so you know, we made a
streetcertified-net.
Christmas album. We'll be out November 30th. Released on my platform. All independent artists. I empowered them. I made the records with them. I produced every record with them, and I just all original music. So this is a concept. I like to try different things, and empower different artists to to expand their horizons and as an artist. You know what I'm saying, from creativity. So which one is this? This with who's the artist? Jamel. Okay, yeah, this is with Jamel. He's the singer on this record. It's a dope record.
All right, so we're gonna get into this Christmas Day. We're gonna get into a little bit more. We come back. We gonna get into with the artist too. We don't let Chris cat all the goddamn shame.
Man.
All the shame from everybody in this, man. It's only for the real radio.
You got a lot of shit with you.
We in this bitch, man. Only for the real radio. We back. We got Mr. Gotti.
Yes.
Street certified in this bitch.
Only for the real.
D Nash in this bitch.
Yeah.
Whole lot of gang in this bitch, man.
Say it again.
And it's a whole, D Nash, he reminded us not to just get caught up in all the glitz and the glamour, because Mr. Gotti, he is a real estate mogul. He's a construction mogul.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
Insurance.
record mogul. Insurance. You sell insurance?
Facts.
Is there anything you don't sell? Yeah, the
My
fan
ass.
says you don't sell dope.
I don't sell ass, nigga.
I like that. I like that.
This shit is
Him, but maybe to her.
what my song say. The soul's not for sale, yo.
No, not for sale.
That's a fact.
Shout out to my son.
That's right. But man, what's going on up here though?
Oh man, I want to talk about these culture vultures, man. Let's get straight into it.
Okay.
It's a lot of people, man, who are positioning themselves to, say what's what in this game, and maybe they ain't did the work, or they don't have it to even do it.
Yeah.
I want you to speak on
But who? You got to give me a name or someone.
All right, so I know.
particular.
Right, I know.
I know
first
the famous Culture Vultures of Leo Cohen. That's
right.
why
Let's speak on him, man, because we had, talked about that.
Leo started his career with Russell. Russell brought him in, and he managed rush management. You got to go back to the essence to kind of understand people. If you got OGs or anybody that's got years in doing anything, and you find out how they were when they was younger, I guarantee it's the same way, pretty much, right? They don't stray off of how they was taught to get successful. Okay, we could even talk 50, right? His whole way of being successful is shitting on somebody. He still does that today, even though he's a successful dude. You know what I'm saying? Why does he have to do that? In business, you don't have to do that, but that's his formula. He understands that. So Leo, his formula that he was taught with Russell was he was working for Rush Management, and it was sign all these artists and don't give a fuck about them. And he did. You know what I'm saying? If you was back then, if you was a hip hop artist from Eric B. and Rakim to LL Cool J, Run
Late 80s, early
DMC,
90s.
that era of music, everyone was signed to Rush Management. You know, we rolling with Rush. But guess how they did it? It wasn't Rush really going out and getting them. He hired someone named Leo Cohen. And Leo Cohen basically gangstered hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And how did he do it? It was basically, if you wanted to show, see, it's not, hip-hop wasn't as big as it is today. So there might have been one club in the city that's popping that did hip-hop. And Rush would go and cut the deal with that club. And so on and all the city. So if you was an artist and you wanted to tour, you had to go through Rush. He owned all the buildings that's playing hip-hop. Mm-hmm. So he would tell Leo, just tell them if they don't sign me, they'll never play nowhere. It's business.
You won't get your back then. You couldn't get your record spun in the club. Was important.
Getting spun in the club. Yeah, the way records was broke,
it
was totally different. And Leo basically had that leverage and power appointed to him through Russell to go and fucking give the shittiest deals possible to get all the talent to sign, and he did it. And he did it really well. And then they started a record label after that, which is Def Jam. So Rush Management evolved into a record label because he had all them artists that he's controlling. So it made sense to start a record label, which he did. And he created Def Jam, and Def Jam was run by Leo, not Russell. I was in meetings where Leo would tell Russell, "Shut the fuck up."
Get the fuck out of here.
In front of everybody. And it wasn't like I was the only one in the room. He would say, "Russell, shut the fuck up." And Russell would shut the fuck up because he didn't know the business. Right. So that's another case in point where you appoint someone to come and do your work, and you don't really understand all of the dynamics of what he's actually doing now. So Leo, from a culture vulture standpoint, learned the industry, learned the business. He also learned how to rob and steal from the very beginning, and that's what he did from the door to today. Right. You know, he's over at
he's
YouTube.
At YouTube right now.
Yeah, he's at YouTube. My prediction, he'll be fired.
So how do you empower artists and get them the knowledge to not run into those type of situations? Again, how is the venture different with Mr. Gotti?
Well, again, to give the I could bring the horse to the water. I can't make him drink it, and that's all it is. But I tell all my staff, I said, I'm not selling. You know, the more they go out, an artist goes out and sees what's really out here for them and what's available to them access-wise, they'll realize that there's really no help except for adventure music. They'll be right back. I promise you. Like, you learn on your own curve, your own learning curve. You understand? You're gonna get the information. I always use myself. I said I was a BlackBerry user. And an iPhone came out, and I didn't switch. You know what I'm saying? I stuck my BlackBerry. Yeah. iPhone 2, 3, 4, S. I switched. It never stopped because it's better. It wasn't because of anything else. It was because it's better than BlackBerry. It was more suitable to what I needed. It was just a better solution for my phones. And that's why I switched. And I'm telling everybody, that's why I tell my staff, I'm not selling. I am the better solution. You will come at your own rate. Now, I got artists that started me. I'm over 3,000 artists on Adventure Music. So I got artists that already signed and been sticking with me since I started. And then I got artists that come from TuneCore, CD Baby, DistroKid, United Match, all of them. They go there. They don't get no assistance or no help. And then they come back to me. So that's what's going to happen regardless of the fact.
So all 3,000 artists, do they all have access to, let's say, the biggest artists on Adventure Music?
There's access to
can they all call Gotti like, man, bro?
Why would I allow that?
I'm just asking. I'm asking. Like,
it's business. Can you call Bill Gates?
No.
You treat me like him. Just because I ain't white, treat me like him.
Fact.
And it will be cool.
Okay.
Because if you don't, I'm going to make you treat me like him. You know what I'm saying? When I pull up into the hoods of all of Chicago and fuck with all different types of people, gang members, whatever, and I'm talking, I want them to respect me as the CEO that I am and giving up my time, knowledge, and information to them for nothing. Because you can't get that. So respect that. Just because we're black, you should respect the next black man. Just like if I was white. Because if a white dude did it, you'd be praising this nigga. You'd be like, oh my God, he came into the hood. He talked to me. I got to speak to him. He told me so many great things. Nigga, respect me. That's my number one thing. So when I do that, and I talk just like this to everywhere I go. Like, I'm not going to take a lesser answer from anybody. You're going to respect me in that sense. Because that's what I'm giving up. There's no one in the music industry can fuck with me on the knowledge that I have. I don't give a fuck. Leo or any of these niggas. I just left Jimmy Iovine, who I deem is the best music exec ever. I'm on that level with Jimmy Iovine. You understand? And that's where we meet at minds when we talk. It's not about anything else. It's about that kind of level of talk. And then really, if you know the history of what we went through with Murder Inc., we was being groomed according to Doug Morris, who's the boss of Jimmy Iovine, Leo Cohen. He ran all the bosses. We called him the boss of bosses. So Doug Morris would fly us on his plane every week, giving us that information. And he said, y'all going to take over Universal. Y'all are going to be the future. Because he's an old motherfucker. And he barely knew how to turn a computer on. You understand? So at the end of the day, he's running all of Universal. Universal is the biggest record label in the world. Still is. So I always judge myself or anything with being the best of whatever it is. I never say I want to be the guy that's at the bottom. No, I want to be who's the top nigga? I'm going to bust his ass. That's how I look at business when I'm chasing what I'm doing. And when the feds came in, everything changed. And they cooperated against us with the feds thinking we're going to jail. But they did that for business reasons too. I'm not making excuses why they did it, but I understand it.
Killer competition?
No, they wanted the money.
Yeah,
they want my business. I'm doing over $240 million a year. They want my money. That's a lot of chips that they could. If I go to jail, they own it completely. That's all it's about. It's about dollars. You understand? And ownership. While I'm in trial, they come with legal papers to make us sign, me and my brother, that if we go to jail, they own everything. And we got nothing. What is the percent? 98 to 2. 2% beat the feds. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of a 2% that beat the feds, that went the distance with them and beat them. The right way. Fought them every which way. No half-stepping. But I had the money to do that and the resources to allow me to do it. Because I understand now, after going through it, why they beat everybody. They crush you. They stop all my money. 4 years. No money. Everyone got paid. My man's right there. He'll tell you. Dex was working with me. He got paid every fucking week. We wasn't getting a dollar. Millions of dollars just going out the door. Then I had to get lawyers and didn't know I needed lawyers. What am I paying a lawyer for? I'm not indicted. I'm just under investigation. 4 years. They just sucking your money out from you so you can't protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's all strategic.
So after you did beat the feds, did you get those relationships like with Doug Moore?
Well, that's what we thought. But, at the end of the day, the reality is they made a decision. And you know what that decision is? Don't fuck with them Gotti boys. Right. Conversations recorded to prove
you
it.
Clean or you come up.
It don't matter. They made a decision. See, again, I'm trying to educate so you don't think it's like a different way. You'll never see record labels like Murder Inc. no more. You never see that no more. You don't ask yourself why. We were successful. Rough Riders successful. Rockefeller successful. Why don't you see that?
No more black CEOs like
that.
They will never let you. Cash Money is a fucking pawn. Because Birdman, look, I fuck with these niggas. I fuck with these niggas. Again, Slim is my nigga, but I don't fuck with the way Birdman do business because he doesn't do business fair. He's taking advantage. I seen checks for over 9 figures for Birdman in Cash Money, and he's not paying his so-called son $10 million, $20 million, whatever the fuck it is. Nigga, pay that nigga. He's the reason you made the money. It's bugged out to me, but that's everyone do their business and they got a right to do whatever the fuck they want. Don't mean I gotta endorse it. So they have the best deal. I could go through everything. I know all of the numbers. I know this shit. This isn't something I'm guessing. They got the best deal in music ever. Master P had a great deal. They have a better deal than Master P. Okay, so at the end of the day, they're paying a very small distribution fee and they own everything. Birdman and Slim. They own everything. They get paid 2 times a year, every 6 months. And them checks is big. You understand? But they hide behind Universal. So Universal runs everything. So if you think of Murder Inc., we did everything. I had a whole staff. I wouldn't let Universal fuck with nothing I was doing. It's a totally different type of mindset in business. So there was a fear of us because we could run it all. We did everything. There was so many back-end conversations where they was like, for instance, 336, we go to LA, make that record, we come to play it for them, and they tell us it's trash, go make a new album. We left there feeling like we're whack. I promise you, we was sitting there looking at each other because we loved it when we made it. And we was like, yo, this shit is whack? Like, nigga, we fucked up. And then I sent out a text to my brother, you know, the SkyTel.
Mm-hmm.
And
The
two-way page, yeah, but it was a group, Murder Inc. group text. So all the people and I said, remember L.A. And when I said that, my brother went crazy. Fuck these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because he was like, them niggas don't know shit. Fuck them. So we go back to them and tell them, and they said, we're not spending no money. We're going to give you $150,000. Go make it happen. That's it. Usually we have to get $500,000 or more to break a record at that time. So they was setting us up to fail. That's when we got on our grind. And then when it popped off, then they had to bow down. But now they know we don't need them. You understand what I'm saying? And that changed their whole games. You know, it's so deep. It's a lot of shit to it. But, you know, with the culture vulture, to get back to that, with Leo, he was there raping and pillaging. He would tell me and my brother, my job is to keep talent at the lowest cost. And what he meant by that is no matter how hot you are, I'm not going to fucking pay you, nigga.
What you worth, yeah.
That's some fucked up shit. Now, mind you, he taught us a ton of shit. I will never take away. Like, I call a spade every time. If you do something good, I'm going to say you did something good. You do something bad, I'm going to tell you did something bad. So, and that goes for me. I accept all my flaws, too. Like, if I fuck up, I'm like, I ain't got a problem. I fucked up. But with him, he was a beast, man, in the sense of raping and pillaging, and how he took advantage and leveraged his position as the CEO of Def Jam versus contracts. You know, we was Murder Inc. We have Ja Rule, Ashanti at the time that's popping, like they're killing. And when it was time to do their albums, he would tell us, don't pay them. What? Because that's what you do. You got to renegotiate every album. You got to go in and say, all right, open my budget up. And I didn't sell what I sold last year. I sold more, so I'm worth this much. And then it's a negotiation to get that money. So, you know, we're talking about $10 million, $15 million for Ja or Ashanti, and then roll out another $10, $15 million. And then he was like, fuck them. Don't pay them. And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, go get another artist. They'll take less when you do that. Like, he had the game plan. And I guarantee it'll work. Because I go into my Don King story. Don I asked Don King one day, why does everyone call him a crook in boxing? I was just getting into boxing, so I have fighters I manage and shit. So, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, why do everyone call you a crook, man? Like, what's that about? And he said, because I don't honor contracts. I don't care, not honor. I don't care about a contract. I said, sound like a crook, Don. He said, let me tell you something, young blood. He called me young blood. He said, look at the table. He's at a Italian restaurant. Maybe about 15 people. Jay Prince is with me. We all there. He said, take a look around the table. And he says, he points to 3 different people. He said, those are all my lawyers. They work for me 24/7, 7 days a week. I don't give a fuck how many hours they got to do. They're on salary. They get paid. He said, you got to go get a lawyer to fight me. You're going to run out of money. And as soon as he said that, I said, he's right. So imagine a boxer who gets paid only time he fights. Boxers really don't have no real endorsement deals or nothing. Think about their life. They fight 2 times a year. That's the only time they get paid. Those 2 times. So even if they're getting $1 million, they got to budget that $1 million until they get to their next fight. So if they don't manage their money properly, they're broke, and then they can't pay for lawyers. And he's like, I told you I could get you like $1 million contract. Don, you supposed to give me $1 million. All right, I'm going to find you another fight. He come back and tell him it's $500,000. You a crook. I'm going to sue you, Don. And the longer he take,
it's going to cost you way more to sue him.
The longer it take, the more money they need to keep it survive. To keep that. Now they've signing the deal for $350 and they cool. And he make them sign off because they need the fucking money. So think of it from a label. It's no different. When they know they feeding you X amount, they giving you cars and this that you got to maintain, houses. They know what you're doing. They counting your shit. And you sitting there in this place where you need money. And, you know, fortunately, we didn't go through money like that. We wasn't just fucking up money. You know what I'm saying? We was able to maintain. We made a lot of money, so we was able to maintain everything. But at the end of the day, that's their mindset. You know, they would tell us. And it went from Leo to Doug Morris. They'll say, Leo told me what's happening. Don't sign. Fuck them. They'll take less. And they would say, they would tell us we're their partner. Because we had a 50-50 joint venture. So we own 50% of all the profits. So they would say, you're our partner. Why are you fighting? You should be on our side. I said, but they're the ones that fucking make our money. and they're like, get another one. They'll sign.
They was trying to teach you to be a crook like them.
Yeah, I wouldn't go for it. It's just about morals. That's all it is. Morals and principles, and I'm not going.
And
I'm
I
not
was
selling
going
my
to ask you,
ass.
so
But
you don't believe.
many people do.
Most
And
everyone
when you
do.
mentioned going back to the culture vulture, in order for you to be a culture vulture, someone has to let you in.
What if they're telling you if you get them less than 10 million,
You
that's
can get the
more
rest.
money we're getting?
Yeah.
Who's not doing that? Like, you think about it. Like, Don De Niro has an expression that we always use now, and it's like, who's going to lead us without trying to rob and cheat us? And that's real shit. That's why we don't fuck with politicians, because we see all their crook ways. So that's why when they say, go out and vote, like I did some shit with the NAACP. You know what I'm saying? And they had me out there, and they get the vote initiative and young. And I'm like, but it's hard when I look at all these crooks. I was raised Catholic. I don't do it because the priests, when I look at those priests, they not good. I see too many things that's not cool. So once you get older, you make your decisions, you make your own. You know what I'm saying? And these were all my issues with the music shit. And, you know, we stood on our ground, but they didn't like it, and they made a reason not to fuck with us no more.
Right. So how you feel about the streaming services? Because basically they're kind of taking place of the labels. I mean, artists don't really need.
They're not
labels.
taking the place of a label because until they start paying for all of the marketing and promoting that is involved in an artist's rollout, they're not taking the place of a label. So it's kind of like a false sense of that, right? It's almost like misleading again the fan because they don't do it, and they're only going to be able to promote you on their platform. If you're an artist, you want to be on Apple, Spotify, Google, Tidal. You don't want just one. And that's what they're not explaining because the artists think, oh, I could get my shit on. Good luck, God bless. Like I said, the more you know, you're going to come back home. You feel me? And that's what's missing. The more that you get educated in what's really real, from like running a record label was a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? It's not like someone off the street's going to know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's just me talking because it's a lot of work. I know. Like, it's a lot of work. I didn't go to school. I learned over being robbed, taken advantage of from these lawyers, you know what I'm saying, from business deals, and learning, like, I can't do that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? But that was years and years, and me sitting in that office all night. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't replace that. You can't. There's not that I know of. I don't know how to replace that.
So, like, what's the next like big steps for Adventures Music?
Tech.
Like,
I gotta finish my tech up. It's raising money. I raised $1 million for it already. I gotta raise another $2 million. I put about $1.5 million of my own dollars in it. And once I get my tech done, you know,
you do like an app
lights out,
or-
ladies.
You got an app now.
Yeah, it's an app out now.
Yeah, you
but
can
it's
go
not
get an
what we
app.
want it to be.
It's not. Again, I need the tech side to make it fully automated, so I could get to 1 million people, or 2 million people, 10 million people. 3,000 sounds like a lot, but it's a lot more independent. TuneCore has over 2 million people, so don't put me at 3,000 telling me I got enough.
Right.
You understand? That's that black shit again.
Now,
Oh, you got a lot,
but I
nigga. That's
didn't- I didn't
3,000. No, they got 2 fucking million.
I didn't understand
So
what
what's
it
the
was
difference
at first. I
between
thought it
like
was
you,
more like a label,
Adventures,
you
and
know?
TuneCore?
Okay,
Like,
that's
what
a great-
can you
Yeah.
offer the artists that TuneCore?
TuneCore only do one thing the same, and that's distribution. And my distribution is to more locations. So if you were selling hats, right, it's no different. You selling music. You selling hats, music. You want to be in the most stores as possible, so more people could buy it. I'm in over 200 locations. They're in about 98. Okay, it's that simple. So we do distribution, all the main ones that you know of, but there's so many more you don't worldwide that will generate revenue for you. Really, that's the only similarities we got because they charge you every time you put out music. I'm a one-time fee, and you could do unlimited releases, lifetime.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that alone is a huge advantage. They charge you to keep your music up. So after the first year,
You gotta
let's say
pay again.
you got to keep paying, not for that same project. You know what I'm saying? Not the new. Yeah. Okay. So you got to understand the business. That's why I said it's so much information. What is the biggest way record labels make money? Let me ask you that question. Can I ask you a question? How does the Universal, Sony, Warner Brothers, what's their number one revenue stream for them? Okay.
Publishing.
No. Catalog.
Okay.
Catalog.
Oh,
All the
so you
old
only-
music.
Okay, yeah.
All the old
yeah.
music. So now if you're an artist, is there any artists in there?
Like $1 million.
How many songs you got?
Out right now.
No, I'm saying right here. Like how many songs you got? Not out in your that you've made, created. Over 100. Let's use 100. In my system, again, let it sound as cheap as you want it. $200 a year for one song. That's $20,000 for records you probably never put out. That's sitting in your computer. You got 20 racks in your computer, and you don't even fucking go
Get
get
the
it.
fuck out of explain.
What you mean, nigga? I'm doing it every day.
Every song has a value.
Every song will generate money today because you're asking me about stream. I don't need to buy your record to make you make money. I just got to listen to it. I just got to watch it. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it generates money. So I'm putting it in all those places and it aggregates and adds up. $200 in a year for John Doe, Boise, Idaho, nigga. Who never knew how to do anything. My best day at Adventures is when I send a nigga a check because most niggas never get a dollar.
Yeah,
from
facts. See, and I know a lot of niggas that don't know how
But
to.
when they put their music in my system, we market and promote it. No other company do. No other company does that, right? They will not market and promote your shit for you. You got to pay for that. That's part of me. I do that for every single, every EP, every album that goes out on my platform. That when it goes out to over 5 million in the county people. Again, you can't. That's worth more than what it costs to sign up with me. Like I tell niggas because they always want. Everyone wants so much and don't have nothing to like. Nigga, you tell me what business you could do with no money. You tell me what business you could do with no fucking money. You want to be
go
start a grocery store and try and do it for nothing. Because everyone in music wants it for free. They don't want to put up no money. Then they want to tell me they the nicest nigga in the game. Well, guess what? Guess what? When you the nicest, I believe in me. When I bet on me, nigga. That's not a problem. Bet on yourself, and it doesn't matter. You could say you don't got no money. You got something. Are you investing in your career? And an investor or someone looks at that when you talking about business. You can't tell me you the best and you ain't putting $1 in it. You understand what I'm saying? You want someone else to put it all up. Yeah, that means you acting like you ain't gonna pop.
Well, you don't believe in yourself.
You believe in yourself. You want to own it and put your own money in it. You're gonna push it as fast as you can, the best way you can. And today you can market and promote for shorts. So I got it where you could market and promote for $100, $50, like different things that'll get you some awareness that it's worth that little change. You know what I'm saying? It's about growth in music. You know, Usher came out and he sold nothing. Look at him now. You know, there's so many stories I can go through because they was developed. You have to develop yourself.
Now, I know with you, this knowledge and all the different things you had your hand in, it don't just start with music with this. Like, how else do you empower people in all various businesses? Could you give us a few examples of
that's
spreading that knowledge, bro, because you're dropping this shit.
No, but it's really just education, like knowledge. And like I said, I didn't go to school. I learned this shit the hard way. You know, my education is more than Harvard, all of that, because that's how much money I lost. You know what I'm saying? So people always ask me about school. Oh, you don't need school. I said, there's a level of school that will help you. So I wouldn't have lost as much money. You know, so in the long run, I wouldn't have had to waste or make so many mistakes. I feel that way. You know what I'm saying? You know, I feel creatives don't need education. I don't feel that I'm the creative. My brother's the creative. I ran the business, right? So I'm creative in business, but
you gotta have that level.
The creators make, and I'm gonna go even deeper. The creators make the money. Who's the dude that just passed just now? Stan Lee, creative. I guarantee you go in his story, and I don't know his story. I guarantee he had a hard time going.
Well, his story is everyone around him was becoming, at that time, this is in the early 40s, becoming doctors and lawyers. And here he is drawing cartoons, and they thought he was a loser.
You know what I'm saying? But he's creative. He created a whole fucking line of characters, worlds, everything.
In his moment, when he's drawing the Mickey Mouse, they thought he was a loser. Yeah. You're a loser, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to
get out of here.
You know what I'm saying? Look,
laughing at him. But you understand, that's creatives. They're the dreamers. They're the ones that will change the world. They're the ones. A person like myself is going to assist that creative. Because a creative doesn't know how to connect the dots. That's what they missing. It's God's gift, God's curse. Like he's
your gift and a curse.
He's a jokester. This nigga. He
speak for himself, God. He speak for himself. I love you.
Yeah, I love you. You saying I don't love him, but don't put words in my mouth.
I didn't. I'm speaking from my perspective. I love you.
He's a jokester. He has a sense of humor.
Let me tell you one of the most valuable things you get when you're around Mr. Gotti and his small big brother. through GF, Godfather, one of the big homies here, right? The biggest thing about being around him is access. He allows you to come into meetings. Like the very first meeting of me, really meeting him, I'll go to one of the biggest advertisement companies in America.
That's a fact.
That's in Chicago downtown. A place that I would have never even been invited to.
And hear that conversation.
See, the biggest thing about our community is, I got mine, you got to get yours.
Yes.
You got to get it the hard way.
I did
I get it the hard way. But that ain't how life should be. Life should be like this. It was hard for Gotti. He was born earlier. He has an obligation to set a trail. You 20 years my senior or whatever.
Hey, watch that, yo.
You supposed to about elders and everything, right? In our community, when you're born first, it's your obligation to make it better for the next person behind you.
Yo, you couldn't have said it any better.
Period.
That's a
so
fact.
When you're around a man like this, yeah, I met him on the downside of things as far as the $240 million a year. But guarantee you it's priceless being a man like this because he got $1 billion worth of game.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like
the money's
a
coming.
A lot of times it's not about the monetary value about being around him. I put together adventure music thing and we made history and it was out of relationships. It was out of, he called Gotti from Atlanta, who and Gotti. Gotti, because of my relationship with him through GF, said, nah, you call D Nash. D Nash put the whole thing together. Big bro, GF come back. It's already laid down. He in Atlanta. But because of the relationship, we got to learn hospitality in our city. All this gangster, we so gangster that we're goofy. We so gangster that we don't even have our business together here in Chicago. We used to be gangsters and gentlemen, right? But now we groupies and goofies. Honestly.
Nah, that shit is real shit. And then that's really the number one thing I try to do is that's the empowerment side, which is allowing even from artists to come in. People I don't really know like that just to give them that leg up. Because you know why? I wish I had it.
Yeah.
You know, in my history, shout out to God bless the dead, Jam Master Jay. Yeah. But Jay used to come get me to hold him down. You know what I'm saying? I was a young nigga. He'll come get me. I'm running around all over the city with this nigga in all types of places. And I got exposed to things that I never would have thought I was going to get exposed to. But he did it more from a, like, come hold me down standpoint. Like grab that thing and let's go. And that's all good. Like, it was nothing. It was all good. But he was like, Jam Master Jay, he was the first person, probably the only person that put me in that car with him and said, come on. Where everyone else, I had to open that door my damn self, or my brother had to open it. You know, we had to pick the lock, climb the window, whatever way it was, we had to figure it out. But I wish I had it in hindsight looking back, and that's what I don't want to keep that cycle going. I want to help.
Now, you just mentioned how the only person that ever helped you was Jam Master Jay, so that's 40, 30 years ago, per se. So you've seen hip-hop evolve to levels that nobody ever saw. Yeah. In this time, have you seen more people like yourself that are more willing and open to get a game? Because
who you going to pass the game to?
Nah, it's getting worse. Yeah, and it's you know, when you hear that word independent, everyone's independent. That means you by yourself. Right? That's what independent is, right? So you think of what you just asked, and because independent is getting bigger, not smaller, it's like all these little isolated companies, and they on their own agenda doing what they want, how they want it. And I get it, but you know, there's a reason that, you know, there's strength in unity, you know what I'm saying? So so my business model on Adventures is all these independents, right? Under one umbrella to add power. Now I'll have the leverage to go and do things for these independents that they could never do by themselves. So that's what I need my tech for. When I do that, that's when Universal's out of the game, Warner Bros. Out of the game, Sony's out of the game. People be looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, bigger companies went down. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, you see it every day now.
All right, so that's all I'm saying. You know, when was it the right time for the slaves to get let free? That's how I look at music. That's how I look at music.
Blockbuster laughed at Netflix.
And they offered them every chance to get some money with them.
Okay,
and they
MySpace laughed at Facebook.
You understand? So this is where adventure music is at. That's where I'm at with it. Where you might think it's just distribution. I'm like,
but because I'm sitting here having this conversation with you, you can feel the passion. You can feel like the everything. Not to down my people or nothing like that. But most niggas only go by what they can see, and they can see, oh, Chris Gotti fell off $270 million. Like, how do you get people to see past that? Like, bro, shit, nigga, if he had it once, he can get it again. He ain't dead.
Like I said,
it's to get up.
Like I said, when it comes to the money, like that business, we quit music. People don't know that. We quit when we realized that Universal and all those names we mentioned was that cooperated with the government, and we win. We thought, again, ignorant. We thought they was coming back. No, they had an agenda. That's what I'm telling you. And the agenda is not just Universal, it's across music, all the labels. They might be against each other, but it's a fraternity. We're record labels, and we're not going to let certain things happen. If you think Suge Knight was ever getting a deal after Death Row, you think Jay Prince is getting let in them buildings? Never do it. You know, that's murdering. We on that list. You know, it's us, Al Capone. And that's a fact. Yeah.
So you and Jay, y'all ever thought about linking up again, like how you was gonna do in the 2000s?
Man, I mean, yeah, there's things we talk. It's again, it's gotta be timing is everything. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. Just because you with somebody, Jay's my brother. Just because you with somebody doesn't mean their world and what they're doing coincides with what you want to do. So it's got to be, you know, everything's got to match, and then it could hit, and then you're good. You know what I'm saying? If not, it's friction.
When everything subsided with the whole police and the Fed, all the rest of that shit. Was it ever a time when you felt like some of the niggas that you can now call friends again and we cool again, that I can see it on the other side, but it's like, how we getting all this money? Like, I'm putting you niggas on, like I'm doing you a favor. I was the man, like,
you know, the gift and the curse, right? The curse is of course going through it all, but the gift is I know everyone next to me. What would you pay to know everybody next to you?
Man,
so you can separate the real from the fake instantly.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about just New York. I'm talking about the country.
That's what I'm saying. In the worst case scenario,
that's what we got out of it. You heard that? Say it again.
In the worst case scenario, may the best thing occur.
That's
so let's say you go out today, God forbid, and you get into a car accident and you just break a leg. You're like, fuck, I could have died. Right? Out of the worst case scenario, you still got into accident, but you only broke your ankle.
Right to the motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's really what we got out of it. Like, it's funny because I told everybody next to me or affiliated, like, you will be investigated by my fucking investigator. See, we had the resources to do all of this shit. If you don't have the money, you can't do that. And then I found out who was no good, and I found out who was all the way good. You know what I'm saying? I had so many niggas locked up. My partner, Todd, you know, I'm going to shout Todd out. You know what I'm saying? Todd was under so much pressure from the feds while he was locked up to tell on me and my brother. He would call me and tell me, don't worry, just take care of my daughter. You understand? What's that worth? Don't worry, just take care of my daughter.
I ain't flipping.
Heard you, got you. You know what I'm saying? But he's home now. You know what I'm saying? That's my right hand. That's it. It's like, that's what I got. I got that everywhere, though. Like, that's priceless. That's priceless, yo. So that's what you got. That was the gift and the curse of the trial.
So from the ashes we rise with Advent music.
Okay, we got a lot of shit going on. Like my
brother.
Fill
us in. Y'all came in
so
with
my
a whole
brother,
lot of gifts and shit.
Well, you know,
my brother. Introduce some of your artists that you brought.
Yeah, my brother. Let me talk Irv because we're together. You know what I'm saying? So, but Irv got all the TV shit on Smash. We're about to do a Murder Inc. fucking TV show. We got Tales on second season. We're about to do the Supreme Team, the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jamie Foxx.
That's big budget. That's big budget movie right
so it's all coming. The money is coming. The Murder Inc. tour, the 20-year anniversary is coming. Then I got the adventures again. I have an insurance business, hedge fund business, sports management business. You know, you just don't know about because I don't like to broadcast.
Yeah, you really don't. Like,
there's no need to.
I love.
We tried to.
Man.
We tried to. We had to connect. Hey, we had to connect in Mexico, and I couldn't get the connect here. They call it green gold. That's a fact.
You got the avocado connection.
You know when you crack.
We got it.
Do you know when you make all your money?
When?
Cinco de Mayo. That's Christmas.
That's
Everybody eat guacamole.
One of them is like $1, $2 just for one.
No, this shit's up now. Like them prices be going up.
Y'all ass crazy.
Listen, there's a lot of ways to skin
There's
a
a lot of
cat.
ways to get. Listen, I was being politically correct, but I learned something from my grandma, and I run with an Arab dude most of the time. And it's not like I point out the fact that the Arab because it's unique in our neighborhood. Like this an Arab I'm with. They're like, fuck, this really an Arab? But she sat me down and she was like, bro, you talk about your friends and all the rest of that. Her being worldly, a lawyer and all the rest of that. She's like, you need to start running with that Arab guy. I'm like, why? She's like, it's in them to get to the money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just and they where they from and how they their descendants
are they gonna let you get to
around that river. They known to sell shit and however they gonna and I took like 2 months. I just rolled with my man. I just did everything. I spent every day with him and his twin brother. Yeah. I'm like, man, you niggas say not to put their business out there, but like, damn, if they see a motherfucker selling laundry detergent, they gonna figure out a way to get it for cheaper, put it back. I'm like, you niggas are on it. So like,
their mindset is different.
Like it's way different. So when you dealing with
because their struggle is different. So
I like to think like a Jew, like because they know how to get.
You know who's the silent killer that nobody talks about? The Chinese.
Yeah, yeah.
Without them, none of this shit exists. We don't have nothing.
Shout out to China.
They make all that shit. Nothing. Hey, right? Nothing. The amount of money China has more billionaires coming out of Beijing in the past 10 years than any other country in the world. China and Brazil right now.
Yeah.
But and from a tech, but their
Brazil's
ability,
tech.
Yeah, Brazil. But the Chinese, their ability, their patience, right? They're gonna take over the world.
What else? They have another.
They already got the world. We owe them. We owe them. Everybody owe them that chicken.
You know what I love about them?
If they call in their cash, we fuck.
What would you consider the hardest area in Chicago? Let's say that they let's say I don't know. Let's give it. This is a Chinese store. This is a Chinese motherfucker with a Chinese. Gay gangster. Tell me no. Yo, keep it a buck. They do not care. How much you want? They put the gate up, but they're gonna be in your hood.
They setting up shop.
Think about it.
But that's only because we don't have a voice in our own community.
Cause we should be having them shots.
Well, you're not gonna
So you can't make Chinese food, man. Nigga ain't buying that shit.
Because
niggas ain't gonna buy your Chinese food.
Arab make a guy roll and he trying to fuck out the chicken on my kid.
The difference is this. What if we stop wanting Chinese food?
We can't though, bro. We can't, bro.
Fuck they food.
Hey,
because you ain't gonna take a soul food place in Chinatown. They
Yeah.
No, because they gonna cook it themselves. They got that shit in the buffet. They got in the buffet.
They don't eat
Chinese motherfuckers
They
eat
set
soul
up a Chinese
food, bro.
spot in your neighborhood and you don't go in. They're gonna close shop and go.
Right.
But what do? They give you rice and things for $5.
And oh my God,
Think about it.
fool.
This is why they do it.
And look.
I'm in the Latin neighborhood. Them motherfuckers is there too. You might have Pepito in the corner selling Mexican food tacos. You might have.
But you gotta have that China
I'm talking
man.
about them as a culture.
China
Yeah,
man.
they go come.
They're worse than the Mexican. The Mexicans put 10 people in the car. They put 30. Like they're and then they can't drive. Right?
Facts.
Right?
15
But
miles an hour everywhere.
listen, but they
Man.
have a plan. You go anywhere in the world, though. My son's in Mexico playing pro ball. They got a Chinese spot. Yeah, we're a Chinese store. Mexico, yeah, they here too.
Damn.
They're in Cuba.
Yeah.
They
They're
in
everywhere.
Jamaica. They everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. They're
Chinese
everywhere.
Jamaicans.
And mind you, they were not
Yeah,
exported.
coolies. That's coolie.
You know, they
Chinese
them
rings
yellow
called the coolie.
people
I-
got the God gene.
I learned
the
something
Africans got
every
the
day.
God gene. I'm talking about the white man. The white man.
And they speak Jamaican
this is-
and everything.
Can we talk about
The-
the
the
God
Chi-
gene real quick, Chris? Can we talk about the God gene? Just
Go.
'cause I wanted to hit him with it.
Hit him with it.
Okay. If I bring a drum right now and I start beating on the drum, right, anything that has to do with the bass, what do?
Start bobbing our head.
We feel the beat. Right. The white man don't feel it.
That's
He
a
don't
fact.
have the God gene. That's why
No, this is real shit. You laughing? This is a fact.
Because it's
This
funny
is God
because
gene.
we
What's it
always
called?
joke about them not having rhythm. So you like, damn, it's just the devil in them
It starts
that'll
with a
make
P.
them move.
Pioneer.
the
Say it again.
The pineal gland.
Your third
Pineal
eye.
gland. That is your connection to
Right,
God.
the pineal gland, right?
That's
So-
your connection to God. That pineal gland in your brain is connected to your spirituality, which is they call a God gene.
So now
I got a
you
machine
play
that can
music.
read
You
that.
ever notice?
That's another business.
You
owner,
ever
but that's
notice
another
we
story.
dance to the beat? The
Oh,
white
my
people
son,
dance to
I'm
the words.
shit.
That's why they're off. They can't fit it. It's in our blood. It's in your blood. So when you hear the beat, you automatically have to start. You don't know why, bro. You go to the club, like, you
just
not
make you
think
move.
about it, right? They can't.
He the white man, the
They
devil.
cannot.
Yeah, he's the devil for real.
He the devil. He can't feel a beat.
No,
Listen,
he
why?
said. Listen, he said they
Listen,
dance
listen
to the
what he
words. It's
said.
true.
Listen
That's why
what he
they
said.
off.
They're not. Hey, listen, I'm gonna kill you with this. They're not the devil, right? It's what the equivalent to what a vampire is. That's why they can't be out in the sun, right? They come from the Caucasus. It's great.
Yeah,
They've only been around since the 1600s. They bring all the disease to the planet.
He gonna break you down. You talking to the wrong one now.
No, I'm
gonna step out. I'm gonna step back and let him go ahead on you.
I'm a Babalawo priest. 11 comes from Nigeria. The Africans, the 10,000 years old. The Muslims get on their knees and pray like us. There's a lot of secrets that have been passed on to humanity. It's a binary code. There's only yin and yang. You notice there's no maybe. Either you're right or you're wrong. The maybes are the liars. It's either black or white. Now, if you ever see the yin and the yang sign, right? It's a white and a black. And within the white and the black, there's a little bit. In the white, there's a black dot. In the black, there's a white dot. That is your entire life. What it works like this is we all have good and bad in us, right? The minute you wake up every morning, you make choices. From the, I'm putting on the black Nike hat with the, right? You might model match that way. You making choices from what fucking food you eat. The choices you make in life gonna make you, right? So say that's my shorty, right? And I got another, I'm lying to her, right? The karma aspect of it. All those things that you do are choices in your life. So we all have good in us with a little bit of bad. We all have a lot of bad with a little bit of good, right? That's the mix. Yes, you laugh. That's the mix. That's why sometimes you be like, could be the lust in us, could be certain things. Now, if you act on that, then the universe starts to move. So if you cheat on your girl, eventually she's gonna cheat on you.
Oh, folks, them gravy ain't lying. Gravy ain't lying. That nigga ain't lying.
Listen,
He ain't lying.
If you lie, you steal. If you lie, you steal, and you cheat. People, that's what the reason you lie is because that's what's constantly happening in your world. Right? You'll be surprised. Me and Chris, like once you live a right. He's one of the most righteous dudes. I met him when he did that walk. I seen a guy say he was going to do so. I didn't believe him when he said it because I didn't know him.
Walk to the White House.
Listen to me. Let that sink in, brother. That's why I have the utmost respect because when I first met him, we meet a lot of people. He was talking this.
A lot of people talk.
A lot of people, we
They
go
don't
everywhere
do
and
it.
talk, and you come back and they ain't do shit. They didn't walk to the corner store. Right? He did that.
Got sick and all.
Yeah, but the key is to have the mindset to do. That's the power of the mind. You make a decision, and you go. Okay. I was having a conversation with my brother the other day. He was saying, "I'm comfortable." I said, "Listen to what you said. Those who are comfortable take no risk.
Never.
No risk, no reward." Right. So that's the game of life. It's that simple, brother. Karma. I don't care what religion you in. Catholicism, Christianity, pick whatever. You got to believe in something or don't believe in nothing. I don't care. But that karma will always, in life, is simple. You reap what you sow. You put good and said good people finish last. Nah, good people finish.
You right. They finish.
They finish the
They
game.
finish.
They might not get everything. You might take advantage of that good person, but he's building calluses. He can't stop being good. If we would listen, we wouldn't be here today if we stopped. How many times we've been fucked over? I don't stop helping people. Right? That's not because that's why.
Joso told me I'm too nice.
Yo, right now, I have 19 doors open, right? Because I'm always trying to open the door for the next guy coming behind me. We got so many doors open, we can't walk in them fucking doors. Some people got all their doors closed. You get it? So if you follow that formula.
What you're listening to right now is called Ifa. Okay?
You niggas deeper than the 8 office at 9 a.m. I'm trying to
Go
tell
Google
y'all,
it.
bro.
Hey, Google it,
You
yo.
niggas deep.
Google it.
Ifa.
Ifa. I-F-A. Google it.
Dreams come true.
And it's a Nigerian religion, over 10,000 years old. When we look at all this stuff, this is all.
Yeah, I seen that right there.
Yeah, that's the first thing when I see it. This is all Ifa to me.
Yeah.
When I see it. And so your grandmother, she might understand something.
Yeah, I start
You
telling
know, I'm definitely finna go.
Listen.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all, check us out because we out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, everywhere. Grandma, let's turn this on, man. Grandma, I need something big today, Grandma. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't just fucking around.
Look, see, this is the type of stuff that this is that wisdom.
That's what
like we can play and joke, but while we playing and joking,
We gotta get it
lives
out
are
there.
Dying, people dying every day in
That's
our
right.
city.
Yeah.
So when I get a man like this in the room, I do a lot of more listening to him than I do talking because I just be wanting him around more because I want to get history.
Man, we've been at,
blessing.
we had like
You know what I'm saying?
two
Which is the blessings in it all. Just to be around him, man. You can't pay.
Pay for it.
If he was a life coach, bro, $100,000 is
That's what I tell. Listen, I tell you, like I've been paid.
We getting in front of free.
Oh, that's what I'm sitting there like. Shit, I know he got somewhere else to go, but keep talking, my nigga.
I've been paid to talk to like corporations before, a lot of money too, and it's like that's why I said when I come into certain places, I'm gonna demand certain level of respect because they're not understanding that. Because I dress the way I dress or
Yeah,
whatever,
facts.
and I'll come in like this.
You go
I'm
to the
not,
bottom.
if I come, I could throw on a suit
Go
or
everywhere.
whatever. I go everywhere. There's no way I ain't going. It's like because I know that's who needs it most.
And you mentioned Adventure, we do seminars. That's our secret sauce.
that's the
we
money.
sit there and we educate you. And
Yeah.
education
Let
is
you ask
power.
all questions like y'all doing that.
Right?
Ask
Think
me
about
any
when you
questions.
didn't know something. He didn't say, I didn't know I lost money.
Right.
I'm actually putting money in your pocket by educating and understanding you are
Hell
intellectual
yeah.
property.
You know, you pay
You're
a
an intellectual
consultant.
property. You are some. Let me tell you what a deal is. A deal is once they come in and say, oh shit, he can sing, he can rap, I like his image. They're going to give you some money in the deal to predict that the ideas that you have in your head in the future,
gonna
they're
equal
going to
more
own, but they're going to own it.
Right.
That's a deal. So they're like, he can write hot songs, he got a hot, he can do better. So they sign you on the potential they want to own your shit in the future too.
So is there any value in record deals? These
Yeah,
days?
listen,
You
I
can
don't
save a
knock.
life.
I don't knock. a
Big
record
homie,
deal.
he said the chicken got, it's value in that motherfucker.
But no, again, it's to each his own, right? You got Chance the Rapper right here that didn't do it with a deal, right? And he's up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's not one way to do anything. The only thing that's 100% is we will die. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, it's hypocritical to say you have to get a record deal or you have to be independent. That's not real. To each his own. Like what's best for you is going to be different. From what's best for me, and so on down the line. So what I said is with deals though, you just be a grown up, be an adult. What that means is you make your bed, you line it. Understand what you're giving up, right? If you understand that, you can never be upset. You know, all right, I got to do 5 years, 5 albums, and then I'm free and I can do whatever I want. This is what this deal is telling me I got to do. Cool, I understand it. This is what I get. This is what I give up. It's that transaction is what it is.
And I give
You
you
just got to be a
example.
man about it. Don't be upset.
Yeah.
Because you make
You
your
made
bed,
more, you
you
feel
lined
like,
it.
yeah,
But a perfect
yeah.
example
it.
is
You know, that's some real nigga shit. That's
Yeah.
real.
No, but let me tell you example.
I'm a man of my
Dodo.
word, so if I tell you I don't need a contract to tell what I said I'm gonna do, I just do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I try to instill in artists, and it's hard because they always trying to get over. Everyone's always trying to get over, but there's no real cheat code. You're gonna have to put in your work. You gotta put in your dues. You gotta put in that time. You're gonna see. It's like I grew up with Bugs Bunny. The cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So the tortoise always that turtle always beat him, and I don't understand that as a kid. I understand that as an adult. You know what I'm saying? Slow and steady win the
The
race.
game of life is not to win the race, to
Finish. And that
Like
little
you said
turtle
it.
would beat
You
that
said you was
nigga
like
with
the
rabbits
nice
every
guy.
time.
People think the nice guy finished last, but the nice guy finished.
Yeah.
And now getting with Dodo, for example, those are adventure music artists, right? Those are adventure
Let's get to the artists because
Yeah, we're talking about what we were
introduce
saying.
some
what
artists.
we
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
So Dolo's an adventure music artist. He was one of the first artists we walked up to Rock Nation to go get him a deal. We're on that right now.
That's right.
So he's ready. It's like, okay, he's ready, he's graduated, and he understands what he has to give up because he has the knowledge. So now you go into a business deal knowing. Lil Wayne didn't know. He said, I signed all that shit away and you didn't fucking tell me?
And that's why he was
That's
so
why.
mad.
And then my money, you still didn't give it to me.
Right.
Right after.
You could have, but you still
You
didn't.
still
Yeah,
did.
you still
That
did.
means, for example, Chris has to give me 10 million, he only gives me 1, and he holds back 9. Now he in the back, I got $1 million. I'm not realizing I'm really supposed to get 9. When my
9
lawyer
more,
says,
yeah.
I'm just giving. My lawyer comes back and says, yo, Chris jerked you. Should have
Nah,
gave you
nigga, I ain't
the 9.
jerked
You
you,
were
my
0-10,
nigga.
and I'm gonna give you, and that's what comes back. And you're like, damn, nigga. By the way, the power's 100. You already took your 90, and out of you supposed to give me 10 out of the 90, and you only gave me 1.
I'll give you the flip side real quick. We had a lot of producers that worked for us, and they thought exactly that. Because what happens in music, see, and I understand, like, you have to understand why these problems exist. So a lawyer doesn't make money in the music industry. They make it all for you. Your accountant doesn't make money for you. He makes it all for you, the artist. So you're generating the revenue that's paying all these salaries. So they can't make more money unless you make more money. Right. So their job really is when these lawyers especially, they just look at, I got like beef with every lawyer. So that's why when we had this law office, that's why I brought it up. But that's another story. Because lawyers is like, again, you were talking culture.
You pay for information, that's
they
it.
have vultures. You're paying for their knowledge.
You paying for the knowledge that you can't go to court.
Okay,
and
but
speak
they
that
don't
lingo.
generate money. So at a certain level,
They parasites, really.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They latch on.
I ain't going there.
So
with
listen,
y'all. I ain't going with
it's
y'all.
all right. It's okay. Like, that's the life. It is what it is. But we was making the money, and they want more money. My job was to say, why are you getting more? You know, one of my lawyers would be like, you get a big house, I want a big house. And I'm like, well, bring in the fucking money and you get a big house, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I had to fire him. You know, it was like, but he's a big lawyer. These are like big attorneys. I learned the most when I hired one lawyer to work for me on salary. And he was 24/7 like Don King, like Suge Knight. Suge was the one we really jacked it from. I give it up. Nah, he had David Kennedy. David Kennedy was everything for Suge, and this way you don't have to worry about, because lawyers cut deals off. If you're a lawyer, you got to build your client base. So I got all these artists as my client. So when I go to Universal, I got to bring 4 or 5 of you into Universal to try and get a deal. You think Universal's going to want to hear that? Then Universal's not going to give. You think he's going to give you the best deal or him the best deal? He's going to leverage whoever the best is versus everyone else, and give them less money. You understand? So maybe you could have got $1 million, but I had to go get these 3 other deals, so I diluted that $1 million so everybody could get a deal. So I have a roster.
Now I got 4.
Now I got 4 artists that I could make money. That's the lawyer's game. And until they bring me money, I said all you do is read contracts. So I learned how to read contracts. So I could, but again, at the end of the day, I use a lawyer just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. I tell them exactly what I want. Now, if they want to make more money, I got no problem with that. Go get the deal. Go get the deal. Go introduce me to someone that I'm not fucking with already that's going to generate me some extra money, and I'll bust you off some more money. But if you don't do that,
you ain't doing that, you can't get no more chicken.
Nah, not a chance. It's business.
It's business.
And you got to learn that. These are all things. And I had producers that thought that they was entitled to more because lawyers got in their ear. They see the Billboard charts and like, damn, they're counting your money. They could figure it out. Oh, these records sold this much money. So did you get this much money? See, this is what lawyers was telling my producers at the time. I'll give you the names. Chink and Seven, my 2 biggest producers. You know what I'm saying? And they went into their ears telling them they was due money. We didn't pay them all their money. Which in return, they had to find out after we go through lawsuits, right, that they got every dollar they were supposed to get. Because I wasn't robbing nobody. I was empowering your bitch asses. You understand? So you could get the right numbers. Because there's no way you could have ever got a record with this person or that person unless it was for us. So what do you know what I'm saying? We was giving you 50. I know like a nigga like Puff would never giving them producers that kind of shit. I could have easily did those deals. You know, and then they came back to me afterwards to apologize. But after all this money spent legally, like, it's just fucked up. It's like, nigga, you got what you was getting. But then, you know, they came back. And again, nigga, Irv took them back in and everything. One of them is my man, so I fuck with him. But the other one, I don't fuck with.
It be your people, don't it?
Yeah. Your people can only hurt you. Shit, you ain't letting the opposite next to you or nothing. You know?
But, you know, at the end of the day, I also understood they don't know better.
Right.
You know, they didn't know better. But it took them a lot of money because they had to pay their lawyer to do everything. So that lawyer's the only one that made money. So you just made less than you should have made. But that's really in every business. It's the same way. You know, pretty much the lawyer is really someone that's not bringing the deal to the table. He's just overseeing the deal.
They just negotiate.
They hold up deals. They're using it as leverage to get another deal. All types of shit that you don't know about.
Now I enjoyed our whole sit down time because I know we almost got to wrap it up and we learned so much sitting here. You know, y'all just going at.
But we can't wrap it up till these artists get on.
We got to. This is how we transition them to get on and we talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
So you want me to get up?
Yeah, we want you to get up, but we want you to learn something. You know what I'm saying? Because we obviously, Only for the Real Radio.
We got a segment.
We got a segment at Only for the Real Radio. We do every week, every show. But this is a special edition, so we weren't too much prepared. But we got it. It's called 4 Useless Facts. So we basically educate you on 4 things that can't possibly change your life today. But maybe it can. Maybe it won't. Maybe it
4
will.
4 things?
Maybe it don't.
4 useless facts.
But they 4
useless facts.
They 4 useless facts.
Trump's the president. It don't get too much more useless than that.
The first useless fact this week we got. Just to make a jar of peanut butter, it takes 850 peanuts. But peanuts aren't actually a nut. They are a legume.
Yeah.
They're the seeds of a fruit. Yeah.
Peanuts are seeds of fruit, man. Useless fact.
A very useless fact. You can't do nothing with it. I'm just saying. Put it. You taught me a lot. I want to teach you something. What fruit
is
this? Hey, that's up to you to Google my nigga. I gave you the seed of knowledge. Now you go and validate. You know what I'm saying? Look that up.
I didn't know how many peanuts made a jar of
peanut
butter.
850. So you get.
I know a peanut is a legume.
Yeah.
I know that.
See,
but you added something there.
Have you ever noticed that the King of Hearts in a deck of cards is the only one to not have a mustache?
See, now you talking about, I know the 2 one-eyed jacks, I know the Stab King. You understand? I'm a card player, so yes.
You know that so you noticed that?
Yes.
Damn, so I didn't teach you that.
Yeah.
It just hurt
I'm a card player. The King of Hearts.
The King of
No
Hearts.
mustache.
Without a mustache.
Yeah.
Did you
no
know this? Because
you
Mr. Big Money, you dress nice, you do dapper things. There are over 177,000 ways to tie a tie.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
177?
177,000.
177,000
ways to tie a tie. These are facts.
That's a lot of knots.
They're Googleable facts.
I know how to make a noose.
That's number 3.
That's probably one of them.
Hey,
that's probably one of them.
That ain't easy. I know how to make a noose.
All right, now since we got, I'm just gonna end it with this one. While most food will go
you
back.
Said 4. Now keep going.
This the 4th one. This is this for everybody. When you go in your grandma's house or your mama's house and she keep that honey in there, and you be like, throw that honey out the honey. While most food will go bad quickly without any added preservatives, honey is the only food that will never go bad.
That's right. I know
also,
that.
out of 2,000 species, there are only 4 that will make honey. So you might think you onto something. You got some bees in your backyard. I don't know that neither, but that's up to y'all.
So
I gave
2,000 species of bees, and only 4 make honey.
Only 4 of them make
motherfucking.
Yeah,
but I definitely knew that honey don't go bad.
Yeah,
that's another fact. I know.
See, and we. Every week, y'all tune in. You can listen. Spotify, iHeartRadio.
I have a show too.
Yeah,
it's called El Punto de Spot. It's a bilingual show.
Can we listen in English?
It's English.
You said bilingual, so it means y'all speaking Spanish.
That means we speak. I don't speak Spanish.
I ain't know that. You rolling with the bro ass busting that shit out there in 5 seconds.
And listen to me. What I'm saying is, it could be like either or. Like I just look at hip hop as. You know how many Latin speaking fans have listened to Kanye or whoever the artist may be, and they're growing. If you're not paying attention to their growth, you out of your mind. They're bigger than we are.
Yeah.
Okay, there are more of us. Look at the map and you see the country. It's more. We have these problems. Like you got to understand that. But so I just wanted to address to help empower them, just like we need it. They need it. You know what I'm saying? So I do a show called El Punto, which means the spot in English. You know what I'm saying? The spot is, in any hood USA, there's always a spot. So it's El Punto the spot. We reach over 120,000 listeners every Thursday between 11 and 1 in the morning on Thursdays.
Yeah, we from 9 to 11, so you could tune in to us first.
But you could air my show.
I could have. You didn't. I was filthy in from the.
Nah, Dex will do it.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna get it to him.
You could air mine because what I did is I syndicated on over 30 different internet stations across the country. One station, our biggest station is in Panama. We get over 30,000 listeners in Panama. It's crazy. And they listen to me in English.
Just show you the world.
Listen to me. We're speaking mostly English. They might make a comment here or there, and then I might make my own translation and shit. Whatever I think it means, I might tell you what it means. But we killing it right now.
Yeah, we it's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Gotti. We got to get in tune with your artists.
But I'm gonna get these artists on.
We got to. We just heard here. Can we get your name, big bro?
Go ahead.
Y'all go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, it's Dolo the artist coming from the DMV, PG County, Maryland.
DMV. Now I'm a Twitter. What the fuck do DMV mean? Like, I thought it was just Washington. What do DMV mean?
Maryland, Virginia.
I didn't know. I'm from Chicago, East Side. I just say East Side crazy. You feel me? East
I
Side
was in
crazy.
DC like 6 years, man. Northeast, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
So I know a little bit about the DMV, you know what I'm saying?
My name is Monty the Mogul. I'm from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
It's Joso from the BX.
So Brooklyn and Bronx ain't the same thing, right?
No.
I ain't, nigga. I'm from the
NY.
He ain't never been past State Street.
New York
Hey, I go to Western sometimes. You know, I get real fancy with
You
it.
went to school in the DMV?
Yeah,
Where you went?
I went to Howard.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I ain't graduated, but I was there though.
Yeah, so they count.
I was there for like 6 years. But man, hey, so tell the people, man.
We're
like,
blessed, man. We out here. We represent AVM and all that. I'm the music supervisor. I deal with all the music.
Oh, so you're not an artist. You just.
I'm also an artist as well. So
what's ABM?
AVM.
I bet you AVM.
Yeah,
so y'all showing it up. Y'all do gang too, AVM.
You know what I'm saying?
So y'all got to be like the flagship because there's 3,000 artists on the platform, and he only wrote. And I heard like not to say I like anybody song more than that Christmas. That shit was cold, my nigga. That shit was cold.
We got a lot of dope records on this Christmas album, both English and Spanish.
Damn.
So it's a lot of different. Don De Niro actually, you know, I don't even do Spanish like that. He like, nigga, we gonna make you Spanish too. So I started getting into the Spanish realm with him. You know what I'm saying? I sing as well, singing songwriting and all that.
So was it hard for them to talk out into doing the Christmas album? Like, man, let's do this. Like,
No,
honestly, nah. He was joking. He was like, yo,
I
we
thought
should
he
do a
was
Christmas
dead ass
album.
serious. Cornelius was dead ass serious.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm saying Chris came up with the idea, like, you know, we should do a Christmas album. We all look like, let's do it. Like,
There's a lot of money in Christmas album.
You gotta understand, we have 2 Christmas albums under the Word of Income, bro.
So this is something that y'all been doing. This is just like a kind of continuation.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me about. I know you guys are individual artists, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Correct.
let's start with Joe. Tell me about like who you are as an artist, what kind of music you make, any singles you got, and we'll just like go down the line. You know what I'm saying?
Me as an artist, you know, I'm a bilingual artist, so I do both English and Spanish. Chris always says I'm gonna be number 1 on both one day. You know what I'm saying? So to have a hit record on both. So I'm representing the Bronx and doing what I do, you know, doing this right, you know. So
how would you classify your music? Well, like
I'm R&B, hip hop, you know, soul. I got that real soul.
So you sing on your records?
Yeah, I sing on.
You don't look like a nigga that sings.
But I don't do the typical love songs. I don't do the typical love songs. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get a typical love song out of me. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't see it.
We're not gonna do it. I'm not into all that. You know, I'm not
the video like,
I'm putting this one for the streets. You know what I'm saying? This one for the streets. I'm not dancing on no Chris Brown
I couldn't
shit.
imagine it. You don't look like
I ain't
you
into
dance.
that.
I don't see it.
That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying?
You was over there like security the whole time. He like, I'm in charge of the management. I'm like, he got the pipe. Like in Chicago, we do this thing in Chicago where you scope the room. You're like, yeah, he got it.
Yeah,
he got it. That's
if something happened, that's the one. That's the one right there.
Yeah, we gonna hold it down. Yeah, that's definitely what we do.
Yeah, see,
I'm the R&B with a little bit of soul.
Yeah, because
so
like that, you got to learn out here, man. You got to know what's going on.
All right, so being an artist like from the Bronx, man, how do you feel about like other artists from the Bronx or like who really represent your borough right now? Like, is you rocking with them? It's like because there's a lot of people from the Bronx. Like, that's a big borough that's happening right now.
Well, me actually, I rock with all of them. They all actually come to me, you know, from Neat Bucks and all these guys, like from all angles, from all angles. So a lot of guys, you know, I engineer as well. So I engineer mix.
So at AVM, you got to have like 7 talents. Y'all niggas probably sell tacos, coke, all that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you want to be multi-talented. You know, being an independent artist, especially out of where we come from, you know, you got to be able to keep up with what's going on. Sometimes you got to be independent and be strong on what you're doing. You know, so a lot of the guys, they come to me out in the Bronx. Most of the New York guys come to me and, yo, I need a record, or I need you to, like, hold me down, mix this down, like. So it's always something. So I try to keep up. You know, you want to be one stop. You don't want to be having to team this person, and then I'm genuine with what I do. Besides that, like, so that's why I got so many people that come to me, cause I keep it 100. We're gonna get this money. We're gonna do it the right way.
Just focus on bro.
But yeah,
homie for the DMV, man. Let's hop in.
Cause I got Mike. That nigga too damn cool. Like
Miguel, he like Miguel.
Nah, I am Dolo the artist, and you can follow me at Dolo_the artist on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Dolo_the artist. I am Dolo the artist. I say this all the time. Music is therapy to me. I don't know where I would be without music. As far as my career, I don't know where I'd be without Air Adventures. You know what I mean? It's been a matchless experience being with them and dealing with them. As far as music, I just want to give, like, the consumers, the real fans of music, the listeners, I want to give them an ear for the style of versatility through, you know, hip-hop, R&B, rap. So I got, like, a universal appeal with the music, and, you know, I just try to stay out the box. You know what I mean?
Okay. We heard the Christmas record, man. It's joint dope. I didn't even know it was a Christmas record, like, and that's when you know it's good. Cause you know a lot of Christmas songs be cheesy, you know what I'm saying? So like, tell us like how it was like putting that record together.
Well, to be honest with you, it was probably like 3-4 in the morning. I got the call. You know, this is what I need you to do. Can you do this? And it was just, yeah. So I had to go straight to work.
So my nigga, you just that smooth. You slid up. I'm Christmas time. You got like that shit epic, bro. You thought about that fuck up, man. You ain't just pop up. Yeah. Let it snow.
Nah, it actually took me 2.5 days. I had to act because in the DMV, we got a lot of studios and a lot of engineers and stuff like that. But the studios aren't that accessible, so. It took me about 2.5 days to actually get in the studio and actually cook up the record with my producer. But how I came about with the record was just listening to the beat and actually, to be honest with you, I prayed before I even started writing to it. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I really didn't know what direction to go with it. I want to have like an adult contemporary type of R&B Christmas record, or family type of Christmas record. So I didn't know, but I just let God take the wheel on that one. And,
all right. Look, you working with something. You going to something with that.
Anybody ever told you like you kind of got that Miguel sound though?
Nah, I haven't heard Miguel. I've heard kind of like a somebody told me a Tory Lanez and a Meek, and then somebody told me I ain't gonna lie to you.
But you ain't auto tuning though.
Nah, you not. I ain't hear no auto tune.
You just gotta hear more records. They on the way. Okay. But somebody told me, Jamie Foxx with the Tank, but on the hip hop side. Okay. You know what I mean? It's just, it ain't no box to put me in, bro. I couldn't even,
Now, Miss Bronx lady, we got to get into one.
Brooklyn. My bad. I ain't even know. She figured, man.
My bad.
I'm from Brooklyn. My name is Monty. How y'all doing?
We all good.
What's good with you?
So you hip hop?
I rap, I sing, I
You don't sound like you sing. You sound
sing.
tough as hell on my kids.
Huh?
You sound tough as hell.
I am a little tough.
We don't expect.
I'm good tough.
Okay.
I'm like the steak that it's like tough as this.
Yeah, no, he got it.
I'm snitching.
Now you alerting the guys.
Nah, but I rap, I sing, I dance a little bit. I'm just creative. Pretty much all around. No box here. God first. Always. So
how long you been there with ABM?
You can find me at Monty the Mogul. MANITHEMOGUL. Monty the Mogul. If you can't, I don't know what to say right now.
We don't want to put a motherfucker in no New York box, because when I think of New York rap, I look him my favorite.
I love Kim, but I'm not that kind of rapper.
Because I'm biased towards male rap. I actually hate female rappers, so it's hard.
It's
like because I don't want to listen to what you know what I'm saying. Y'all shitting on niggas.
Alive, though.
Say the best.
Your best.
I don't even know about that though.
Yeah, so who your favorite female rapper is?
You can say Kim, Missy Elliott as well. My favorite rapper though is DMX all day.
Whoa. You just don't, because you don't look that old. Like
I'm not old.
That's what I'm saying. How could you like love DMX? You like
My
you,
mom or my dad.
like you had to be a part of that. Like what's my name? Like I used to watch the box and wait for that shit. Every like man, run that shit back.
I don't know.
Back.
It was just something about his spirit. Like you could like music is so it's so spiritual, and we're in a spiritual time, spiritual warfare musically. If you don't feel it, it's really it's coming alive. So I just fell in love with his spirit. I fell in love with the storytelling. I fell in love with the aura. I fell in love with the swag. I fell in love with just the what is it, metallic. What is it, like the magnetic field that he has about himself. I just like was on my God, like, you know what I'm saying, especially his stage performance and that presence, and that's what I pride myself on too, my performance. And so I'm like I appreciate the aggression. It's amazing.
What got you linked up with Chris and Adventures Music? Like how did you? Oh, that's family, like blood family.
Water. It's still family.
We all family, right?
You know what I'm saying? You got some blood in it.
When chicken talk, it's all family.
You know, blood is sticky.
When the chicken gets to talking, we all
water
family
flow.
around this.
You know what I'm saying? When you got water, sometimes water flow. And water is good for the body.
And me and her father go back, back just and shit.
So what is it like as all three of y'all? This is a question, like, because I know we almost at the end of this thing here. What is it like walking around like y'all say y'all run with this a $1 million nigga? I know what it's like to run with $1 million.
Can I say my experience?
Yeah.
When I hit him up, because I was like, just kind of in a transitional period. I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out. I hit him up. I'm like, yo, you looking for anybody that's like doing interns? You know anybody that's interning engineers? Because I engineer as well a little bit. And he was like, yo, nigga, pull up. I'm in the studio right now. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then he put me on the radio that next day.
Damn.
So it just happened, you know what I'm saying? And then he allowed me to be creative in the studio and actually vibe and get it out, and then he gave me a role, you know what I'm saying? And to assert myself musically, with my pen, with my communication with people. So and just controlling the energy that God gave you, you know what I mean? So I'm shit, you know what I mean? I'm walking around real groovy.
Let me just with her saying that, I'm gonna just after they tell their story, I'll tell you mine so that you really understand. Monty is a monster. Like she will run niggas over. If you don't know that, and if you don't, and it comes from her mom and dad. Like if you know her parents, you would understand who she is. She's absolutely a product of her parents, right? And her energy, you can't stop it. My real job for Monty is to control the energy at this moment, just to get it shaped and formed, and then I'm just gonna let it go. And then, but you can't stop it. And she mentioning, I just told her in the car because I analyze music. She's Lauryn Hill. She could rap like that, and she could sing like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
that's heavy. That's a hell of a praise.
Oh, that's a fact.
When you first off, fuck these new niggas with a gat set. Fucking lab rats. That's what my niggas laugh at. They be talking like Elmo telling kids to sell packs. Say they finger fucking hammers. Nigga, watch the kickback.
You know what I'm saying?
When you first
she'll go with anybody. Like she'll go with anybody. There's no one that stops. If Little Chris was here, he would tell you because that's how. Why, again, we're here. We're going to go work with Little Chris, you know what I'm saying, and do some records while we're here with him. And he brought a record. I wish you'd have had that record on the thing. You got it? Yeah. But because that's the record. Little Chris wanted me to produce a record with him, so I gave him a track. He started working. And then once that we heard it, she was in the room because she's a writer. So it's like you can't just put her as an artist. She could write any type of records. That's all of these. Everyone here that you see, they're multi-talented. They could write R&B, pop. It doesn't matter. Christmas songs. I challenged them. Right?
But that shit was dope though.
Yeah, that shit was definitely like not only some lame because we could be like I pride myself on saying only for the real. And you told me to tell you if I felt them, and I like the first one I didn't feel as much as the second one, but they wasn't weak songs. Like the second one, like bro shit, that shit epic. I'm banging that shit next week. You know what I'm saying? Like
you gonna bang that first one too? Just gotta.
I don't know though. I look. You gotta say it. It's a job to sell it. It's a job to sell it.
You gotta hear it again.
I gotta grow on you. I gotta grow.
look, Gotti right here.
Nah,
that
song's
that
dope.
record is
They
a
grow
monster.
on
Like,
me.
I'm telling you, like if you didn't hear it, if you didn't catch the first listen, when you listen to it, you gonna get it. You'll get it.
So before we get out of here, man,
You
I
don't
want to
have
make
first
sure.
listens every
I want to make sure that
You know,
all the
you don't,
artists,
you don't.
y'all let the people know what you doing. Like, you know, as your artist, your new projects coming out, where people can follow you, all of that.
Yeah, well, you already know this, Joso. They call me Joso BX on the IG. Y'all can follow me on IG or all platforms and things like that. Just stay tuned, man. The adventure music, everything, man. Just stay tuned to the adventure music. Trust and believe it's gonna be something epic in 2019. So all I can say, really, man, because the projects is endless.
All right.
Yeah, Dolo the artist. You can follow me again at Dolo_the artist. The top of the year, we busting heads. I'm not lying.
You got a new project coming?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, outside of the.
His first single will be out in the second week of January.
Okay. And Ms. Brooklyn.
Shoot my shot.
Monty the Mogul, MANITHEMOGUL. I'll be having some stuff dropping soon too. You can follow me on Instagram. Right now, I'm just how would I say, gaining knowledge from this $1 billion minds we got around us.
Dex Diamond dropping an album soon. I'm just kidding.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
you know, I'm not only
the
the president of that division, I'm also a member. And
believe it.
Probably, what am I, Chris? Number 1, number 2 from a catalog standpoint.
Number one.
Because all his records. But I don't stop dropping projects. Last year I dropped Spick. I got a couple.
You know who's on your
singles.
ass is King Problem.
Yeah. But I brought him in, so I give a piece of it.
Yeah.
I got somebody in Chile right now. He got 700, his catalog 700. We're about to bring him on board. What I'm saying is I don't stop dropping projects, and they know that. I'm in the studio just like them working. They do their English on Mondays. I do my writing sessions in Spanish on Mondays. I'm finishing his Latin R&B album that's sick. Latin R&B, sick. And that's kind of what I do. I bring hip hop and R&B to Latinos, which it's always been there, but kind of.
You know, he's a humble dude. He was a dope platinum selling independent artist, Latin independent artist. Really not Latin. He was rapping too. So they, you know, and
I opened the door.
He opened the door for a lot of artists that are very big, like a Pitbull and things of that nature. That was his hype man. You know what I'm saying? So
Get the fuck out of here, y'all in here talking like millions of dollars is $50 bills. This nigga talking like Pitbull. I just saw Pitbull at halftime at the fucking Super Bowl. You talking about he is hype man, and you niggas ain't tooting your horn, my nigga. When I walk in somewhere, I'm like, I'm the first nigga to interview Chief Keef. You know that, right? What you doing?
That's dope, though.
This is
You know,
important, Chris. This is so important, right? Once we don't. When you're at the level of me and Chris, we have a lot more losses. You only see the wins. You don't see them L's. So when we get that win, it's a chess move. We're already on to the next piece because it's a puzzle. So if you get one piece of the puzzle, you'll be like, oh shit, the puzzle's not done, Papa. What the fuck are we celebrating, right? This is what I'm saying. So it's kind of like that. Now you guys might say, we look at it from, we're just gonna keep, look, he might be the next Pitbull. He might be the next, we don't stop. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of, and I only got on here because he was like, I got projects dropping, but I'm never on Don De Niro, but I only do it. I'm almost gonna be 50 years old. Let that sink in, right? And we don't stop to let them know that as an artist, you can have longevity, right? You can be doing this for a long time.
So back to Adventures again. I like to tie things together so you understand. He brought his entire catalog because he owned all his music. He brought his entire catalog from Universal over to Adventures, and then started generating more money than he was making with Universal.
As a platinum selling artist,
you understand what I'm saying? Because that's what the platform does for you. Like, it helps empower the artist for that. It's really, that's what I designed.
And then they were going to make me the president at Rock Nation Latino. I was not going to relinquish myself. I got a situation at Rock Nation to develop. It doesn't matter English or Spanish, right? And we signed that 3 months ago?
Yeah,
probably?
3 months.
And we're in that process of that too. So this is kind of where the game is at. Where we're not anti-label because there's levels, but if our artists, all the ones that are around us, understand what they will give up. Us too. We got to relinquish as all these records and adventures. We have to. So understanding the business, the knowledge, can help you conduct business. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the streets. Everybody didn't start off with a kilo, right? You start off learning. You watch your homeboy cooking.
Damn right.
He didn't say shit the whole game.
Everybody
The
ain't
plug.
start off with a key.
Definitely did.
I'm just giving you the example of the build-up. Right? You got to build, understand the business, and we're in the same predicament. So you're never going to see us pat our backs or the work will speak for itself. We're just going to keep working. Hard work pays off.
You definitely do. I appreciate you all giving us a minute of your time. It's a pleasure to sit here amongst.
And I had a good time.
I'm glad you did. I pride myself on what I do here. And my grandma always told me, go get it. It ain't going to come to you. The plug told me, whatever you buy, that's what I'm fronting you. So,
hey, get a new plug. You need a new plug.
So, information. I don't know who the fuck is racing because we at the finish line with the flag wave. You need to get into it with all things only for the real, all things street certified. Thank you to this man, the legendary,
music,
the AVM. Get into it with it. Hey, we gonna bump this Christmas album until it's Christmas 2020.
We gonna get you the rest of the song.
Oh, I know. I already stole them off the flash drive, so I have them. Got him. Yeah, that's how we go. It's only for the real radio.
Only for the real.
Only for the real.
Only for the real.
Only for the real. This is only for the real, man. You fake, man. Close your fucking ears, man.